Welcome to Late Night Chat with JT and Niko, episode 38, not 28.
Welcome back, everybody.
There you go. You're going to have that start.
Take 4, apparently. We're having a little trouble starting the show off here today. Jay's a little frustrated already, so we got very grouchy Jay here today.
In the wrong fucking number.
In the studio, if that's what you want to call it.
No. Nobody's grouchy today.
Grouchy Jay.
We'll have to keep an eye on this guy in case he falls asleep on us again. I'll let you guys know. I'll ring a bell or some shit like that.
So what's going on, Jay? How you doing?
I'm good, man. You?
Yeah, good.
Good.
I just came back from New Jersey, just repping my team,
Yeah, right. Okay. You came back from the big town of Windsor.
Yeah, that's where it was, guys. When we talked about on the last episode, if you recall, Jay said, we were pre-recording ahead some of our content for the new episodes because I was going away for a few days. I went up to Windsor for like 4 days, I guess. 4 days, 3 nights we were up there.
Yeah,
and during that time, we went over to the States because fucking Detroit is right there, man. It's like you have Windsor and then Detroit is literally next door, like 10, 15 minutes away from where we were. Like, it's crazy. It's so close. Like, I've always been told that, and I'm aware of it, but, like, you just gotta go under this tunnel.
And it's there.
It's there, man, yeah.
It's crazy.
Who
does that? Who puts it underneath a tunnel and it's there?
Well, you mean you gotta go through the tunnel to get there, Like, to get to the border area.
It's like entering a big vagina. Come out the other end.
Yeah, that's right.
All right.
Yeah.
And just making sure, just so I can get the metaphor in my head going good.
Yep.
So, how was 8 Mile? I heard you took a trip down.
I did, yeah. If you guys are following the Late Night Chat network Instagram account, yeah, we were on the highway and I saw the 8 Mile road there. You got 7 Mile that you see on the highway as well. And then as soon as I saw 7 Mile, I'm like, oh fuck, 8 Mile's coming up. Yeah.
They can count in the States, so it does go in order.
That's right. Yeah.
Unless when you're coming the other way.
Yeah.
Right. Got us back.
That's how a lot of their streets are, though, too, right? Their streets a lot of them are just numbered; they're not named.
Well, there
right?
are some streets I think too in Toronto that are like that. In Mississauga, and there's certain areas that do the same shit. I think until they run out of numbers, and then they can't do it really anymore, right? They're not going to write 153rd Street. I guess if you're in New York, I think they probably would, but.
Yeah, there's a lot of street. I guess that's one way of telling how to get around. But for me, when I was in the States, when we were in Washington, a lot of the streets were like that, and it was a little confusing, like the way how everything was broken up.
Yeah.
But you get used to it, I'm sure, if you live there. But for us, it was kind of a little confusing. But yeah, went to Michigan.
Like a grid.
Yeah, I went to Michigan when we were out there, so I passed the 8 Mile Road on the highway. We just went out there for the day, kind of spent it with my girlfriend's parents that live out there, and, had some good family time here over the Thanksgiving weekend, so it was good,
Canadian Thanksgiving, guys, so just in case there's any U.S. listeners out there, I don't know what date it is for you guys, sometime in November, but... Yeah, same shit, different day. Yeah,
so it was our Canadian Thanksgiving this past weekend on the Monday, so then I went there for the long weekend.
We have to hunt turkeys up here live.
Yeah.
We don't fuck around.
Yeah, it was fun. We had a good time. Yeah, it's interesting always to see, different parts. We went to this place. We went to the world's biggest Christmas store.
Well, they have one of those everywhere, I thought. Yeah, no?
No, this is, one that people come from, all over, the States or, through Canada to go to. It's called, Romner's or something like that. It's some
it was like Walmart.
Yeah, that's just everything. World's biggest stores, but this is specifically all Christmas shit. I don't know. We passed through a town and we saw it, and with Christmas coming around, they thought maybe that might be something we'd be interested in seeing.
Don't even talk about Christmas already, man.
Yeah.
It's still early. It hasn't even passed.
Hey, listen, man, it's coming. It's coming. Whether you like it or not. I know you're not a fan of the holidays, but a lot of people are. Fuck, you should have seen this store, bro. It was ridiculous. Half the store was ornaments. Shitty fucking tacky ornaments, too. Like half the store.
Superhero ornaments?
So, guys...
Here we go.
No, guys.
Oh, okay.
So, half the store was ornaments, and a fucking broke... I know this is probably super interesting for our listeners, but...
Super.
Super.
I'll describe what he's doing. He's holding his hands in the air, guys.
Yeah. there's themes though of every single ornament like in the store, like so it's not broken up into like here's all the ornaments. It's like themes of ornaments. So it's like here's all the cat ornaments, here's all the dog ornaments, here's the sports ornaments, here's this fucking ornament, there's this fucking ornament.
It kind of looks like it's arranged like in a certain way.
Yeah, it was
sort of like something else
so,
I'm looking at.
Yeah, fuck off. So the reason I wanted to tell this though, no, it was just strange. It was just
that is strange. Excuse me. I see.
There's nothing wrong.
There's nothing wrong
with organizing. If you're looking for a book, yes, it's not strange. I just didn't know there was that many themes of ornaments and that many to have in each theme.
Yeah.
Can you guess what Canada's ornaments were? Do you want to take a guess?
Bacon. No.
Usually it's like Usually it's like a moose, like a mountie, right, guys? Like
Eskimo.
Right. You know, because Americans think so little of us. It seems sometimes they just don't know. But to be realistic, there's not that much that actually separates us from North America. No, I didn't see bacon. No, but one of my favorite ones that I did see though in the Canada ornament section was there was a lot of Bigfoot ornaments. Yeah, Bigfoot.
We all got big feet up here.
And the worst part about it is, if anybody knows about Bigfoot, the Bigfoot is the American version. Ours is Sasquatch.
No, it's the Samsquatch. Samsquatch.
But a lot of them said Bigfoot or Yeti even on it. And Yeti is like the fucking, like, the last... Yeah, that's right.
It's the microphone.
The name of the microphone. So, yeah.
They must be Canadian made. Are they? I wonder.
No,
bro.
We're gonna
check that out, guys.
I think it's gonna. It might be the picture of the episode art for this episode because I took a picture of the ugly fucking Bigfoot ornament. Bro, it's hilarious. Yeah, I picked out my ornament for the year.
You must have got some action when you were there.
Picked out my ornament for the year. You know, every year I try to buy an ornament for the tree, like at least one. I got
so cute.
you know those those classic holiday cartoons. You know, the ones with. Yukon Cornelius and the big abominable snowman, the Rudolph one. Yeah, I got an ornament that's the like the abominable snowman, like the one that's like he's holding Rudolph, like the from those cartoons.
Snort, man. You almost said that, eh? That was funny though.
Abominable Snort, man.
Yeah, that's what we got up here in Canada too.
Yeah, big cokeheads.
Yeah,
that's what we call them, abominable Snort mans. Mons.
That's it.
Yeah, all our mons.
Yeah, all our friggin' Toronto slang.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah, there's an article about that this past week, guys. Just dipping in and out of the subjects here.
Weird things here.
But yeah, about all the Toronto slang now that's becoming popularized here over in Toronto that we're being known for. I don't know, man. I'm not. How do you feel about that? I don't want to necessarily be known for our Toronto slang all of a sudden. You know what I mean? Because it seemed like...
Yeah, I mean, I guess they have some sort of slang, but I mean, I don't know. I can't...
It's really just a lot of the West Indian people, though, that live in Toronto that started with, no? Like, wasn't that like a representation? Like, I know Drake started to do it, and then everyone started...
and all that stuff, a little bit of mixture of, like, patois and stuff like that.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. It's like a mixture of some of the ways some of the ethnicities live here, the way they talk. But that's not Toronto slang.
Between each other, right? We have so many different types of cultures here too, right? That are living under one, in one city. So I mean, everybody starts talking with different slangs to each other, and it ends up becoming like that, right? That's how they would pick up on it. I don't know how it actually starts. I mean, slang is a pretty cool. I mean, if you get it and you can understand it. I mean, I can pretty much understand it. I don't know if I ever talk it. I can pretty much understand when people are talking weird.
Yeah, sure. I mean, if you've lived in Toronto that long, I agree, and I don't think it's a misrepresentation because there is certain people that talk a certain way, especially with the Toronto slang. I get that. I just think now it's getting a little over exaggerated, and it's becoming one of those things now that it's gone. I think, you know what I mean? Like, farther than it should, where people, I think, are purposely trying to talk that way that didn't necessarily talk that way. That's what I mean. So it's pretty interesting that that's the case. Because, honestly, let's be honest, at least for me, I think, that a lot of that stuff didn't get brought to light, or at least on a mass media, a platform until Drake started talking about it.
Yeah, but it was out a long time before that. I mean, even look at Kardinal Fish Out. Remember we were talking about that the other day. Yeah. With his song, right?
Right.
I mean, that was a big thing. About Toronto slang, right?
Yep.
So, but that
and he's been around a lot longer than Drake. Yeah, no, absolutely,
yes,
absolutely.
I mean, it's never gotten the representation. I mean,
No,
it could have back when it started out, when the song first came out, but it was never that big of a market back then for Toronto rappers and stuff like that, right? Artists, not as big as it is.
well,
now,
yeah, Drake made a post I saw the other day that he highlighted Sean Desmond. He's like, oh, before me, there was Sean Desmond because of Toronto. Remember that fucking guy?
Desmond, yeah.
Remember that guy? Yeah. But yeah, that is definitely, he was pretty big at one point.
Yeah.
I can agree to that.
Yeah.
So like him, but like the fact that he said him and he didn't say anything about Cardinal Official, that's what I thought was weird, because I'm like, bro, but Cardinal Official was popular before Sean Desmond for a period of time. Like,
for sure.
That's what I mean. Like, it seemed odd because Sean Desmond was more pop, not like a rapper.
What kind of slang does he got?
I don't think he was talking about the slang. I think he was just talking about like people. Yes, yeah, because everyone obviously nowadays would attribute that to Drake, but they shouldn't, because there was other. He's definitely the biggest impact.
Yeah.
I think for the city in terms of how big he is, absolutely. But he's not like the first one to have any impact.
Popularity wise too.
Sure.
He might be. That's why he might be mentioning Sean Desmond. You know
Sure. So. But yeah, no, he gave him his props. Like, whatever. Yeah. I have nothing against it. I just thought it was interesting. Like that you mentioned it.
That is an interesting thing. But yeah, no, I think like it still had to go back. It's gone back for a long time. It's just never been recognized this much, and now it's all of a sudden made the news, and you know, we just have nothing to talk about up here if that's what we're talking about right now. Is on the news, like
I know.
That's what they're talking about on the media. Is that? Yeah,
I know.
We have nothing up here to talk about in Canada.
I thought you were going to say we had nothing to talk about today. We actually got a shitload of things to talk about today. Today we got a lot of things to talk about. I'm actually surprised. I don't know how we're going to get through all this today.
I was supposed to make fun of your football picks and stuff like that too. Apparently, you made some shitty football picks.
Well, not as good as your brother's, if that's where you're coming from. Yeah.
I've been told to tell you that. Yeah. He I guess he didn't want to call in himself to tell you, but
it would have been nice if he did.
Yeah, he said just to call in. And,
well, your brother's been offering to call in with his hot Jesse picks.
Yeah, and then well, apparently
he's been doing well. He won the week and then he won a pro line. Yeah, listen,
well,
you know
what? It's
I remember my first time.
Shoved up his ass
bro,
when he was a kid.
I remember my first time winning a pool, a football week, bro. I remember my first time. I mean, I think he needs to just tone it down a bit. You can be happy, get your congratulations and all that, but you just calm down. Like, it's like he's never won something before in his life or something, right? I mean, honestly. No, but it's true.
I know.
That's why we're making jokes.
We
were making jokes in the group chat about it. If he wants you to come here and bring that to our platform to talk some shit. Yeah, it was the first time he's ever been in the football pool. So it's a big deal for him, right?
With the Lambeau Cup there, right?
Right.
So I was kind of rubbing it.
But I was just saying to him, I was like, yeah, bro, I remember my first time winning a football week in this pool.
I remember my first time.
Yeah, exactly.
I was in grade.
I was like, calm down now.
No,
Then he started harassing the guy, of the pool because he owed him $25 for winning the week.
You owed the guy? Or the guy
so if you win the week, you win $25,
yeah.
And then if you win at the end of the year, you win like whatever's left out of the pot after every week. So every week we all pick the over-unders for all the games every week. And the person who has the most picks correct over-under every week wins the week. If you win the week, you get $25. Everyone pitches in $50 at the start of the season. At the end of the season, whatever's left out of the pot after the winnings, the weekly winnings, goes to the person who has the most picks right over the whole year.
Why would there be any left in the pot after the weekly winnings?
There usually is. Not much, but yeah. So
that's weird.
So that's how the pool goes. And yeah, I think he was getting a little heated because he had to wait 2 days for his $25. So
don't you dare do that! Apparently,
well, you know how like
he likes to fucking cry as a river, eh? When don't even get me started on that fucking topic, Niko. I'll have a fucking therapy session right now.
Yeah.
Fuck that shit, man. No, I get what you say. Go. But he also told me to say something. I'm just trying to stir up the pot.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
He also called you the guy from, I fucking don't understand that show, Star Wars. I don't know what his name is.
Oh, Palpatine. Yeah,
they call you Steen, but
they called me a Steen, like I'm cheap, or like, I make up, stories to get out of, things involving money.
They called you that because you don't look like the guy.
So
wear a hood
Emperor Palpatine, the villain from, I don't know how interesting this is for the listeners, but if Jesse wanted to you to come on here and make fun of me for it. Yeah, so there's
no, he's telling me to throw it out there. Maybe you'll listen to it. And,
yeah, they say I look like Emperor Palpatine, everybody.
I don't know. He told me to bring that up. But yeah, so, and then I don't know why. He says you look like him?
I don't look like him.
I was going to say, because you don't. You know,
yeah,
not even on your worst days.
Kind of an inside joke of ours, I guess.
Yeah,
I think it's more for being esteemed. They like to call me Emperor Palpatine. I don't know how it started, but yeah, it's a weird joke between the three of us, me, him, and P.
Up, man.
Yeah.
The three stooges or
all right, so
whatever you want to talk
yeah.
about.
Thanks, Jesse, for sending your brother here to talk shit about me on the show. That was fun.
Yeah, I would at least say, like, I kind of understand. I don't understand that show. I tried watching it with them. He was sitting there watching it all weekend. And I tried watching it with him, and
Star Wars? Yeah, you hate on it.
I fucking fall asleep, man. I didn't realize, but why the fuck would you put eyebrows on a fucking guy that's covered with hair anyways? And that took me that.
Why are you hating on Chewbacca, man?
Because I have that kind of hair. But my eyebrows are distinctly covered because I have no hair on my head.
Hating on Chewbacca.
No, I just don't know why. And they made him different colored eyebrows too.
I don't know, bro.
Than his hair.
It's never an observation I cared about, to be honest with you. But
I just noticed it.
It very much upsets you for some reason.
You can tell, yeah, if it was just stupid. Sorry. And any Star Wars listeners out there, I apologize in advance. But you know what? It sucks. I'm sorry. But yeah, go on.
So I want to give a special shout out to my buddy Paul from work. He's one of the people in our hockey pool that I do almost every year. I think last year was the first year I didn't actually get involved with it, but I came back this year. It's a pool that I actually had invited you to that you weren't able to make, and hopefully next year you're able to join us. Yeah. I wanted to give him a special shout out because he outed me today in a group text message. He's trying to stir the pot today because his also a player you have in your hockey pool, Tavares, got injured for 2 to 3 weeks with his broken finger. You know, it's funny, bro. Like, if it was like the 60s, they would have just wrapped that goddamn finger up and fucking thrown him back out there.
Not even baseball players play with broken fingers, man.
So,
tape them together in the glove.
So it was funny. Today was my, he exposed me, bro, to work people in like a 6-person group text by posting the YouTube video for our newest episode.
Oh.
So we started talking shit to one another. He started crying about how Tavares is injured and this one is injured. And meanwhile, he's in first in the pool. But he's like, well, if my players keep fucking dropping like this, I might have to take second this year. You know, he's stirring the pot, talking his shit. Yeah, which is good. I appreciated him he's trying to like start shit between everybody in the text. Like, that's the way it should be in a pool. There should be, and I find in this pool we normally we haven't really got that going. Like we don't really see each other all that often at work.
Okay.
So we've never in the past, I think, like even in the Yahoo group chat, no one really kind of talks shit usually for whatever reason. Yeah. Maybe in passing in the hall if we seen each other or whatever. But anyways, so he's trying to start stirring the pot, and then I started talking shit about his team because I'm in second right now, and I told him, I'm like, bro, I'm right up your ass, man. I'm like, fuck your players. I hope they all get injured. Or he's like, yeah, my team's made of glass, blah blah blah. So we're chatting.
Yeah.
All of a sudden he's like, hey guys, if you want to fucking come last in the pool, you got to take this hockey. Don't take this hockey experts picks. And he posted the video in the text message to 6 other people of our most recent video on YouTube because I think he follows me on Facebook, so he's seen the post.
Yeah.
So like he exposed me to some other work people in the chat with the video, and me, I keep my work life and my private life kind of pretty separate. You know what I mean? Not that we ever say or do anything bad on here, guys, but I just think it's funny because that was, I think, maybe the first taste that some of the people, if they happen to click on it, like no one commented in the text after he posted it on it, except for him. Yeah. And he's like, hey, bro, you better give me a shout out. You're the man. And he's just like, give me a shout out. I'll be listening. And then he just posted the video. So I'm like, here you go, Paul. If you actually are bothering to listen to this, here's your fucking shout out.
Hey, I'm not doing too bad with the players we got.
Yeah.
I had to switch it up too. I can't remember who the fuck I had to take somebody else because it's Tavares was out. Because now I got 2 weeks.
But do you put him on your IR, like your bench? Okay.
So I got an extra player, but it was hard to do because I didn't know if I was going to do it today or not.
Yeah.
Right? So I ended up picking up. Who the fuck did I pick up? Oh, I just picked up Clefbaum from Edmonton.
Okay.
Defense.
Yeah.
I needed another defense too.
Yeah.
But he's playing all right anyways, and I can fuck around with him within every week or so, right? So he's supposed to be out for 2 weeks. Like, really? You broke your finger? I don't know, man. Now, with that dirty stash that Matthews is trying to grow, he's trying hard, man. How long has he been trying to grow that?
I don't know,
mustache,
man.
bro?
All off season.
Oh my god, man!
I know it's not a good look. I don't understand it either, to be honest
I got
with you.
ass hairs that are old.
It's like me trying to grow facial hair.
Oh man, no, you could grow it.
No, but mine's patchy. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's what I mean. Like, it looks like somebody that
Yeah,
can't
it's
actually
weird
grow a
because
prop.
it's-
But it's like
certain
a
parts
dirt
are
stash.
patches, yeah, certain parts are patches and the other parts are full, thick. It's not spread out. Evenly.
It's not. Yeah, it's.
I wonder if they could fade that in. You
know?
can get those little lines. Remember on Married with Children?
Yes.
When fucking Bud used to take
Yeah.
the marker? That's what you should do, bro.
Wow.
Try it out, man.
I haven't thought about Married with Children in a fucking long time, man. That was a funny show, man.
It was.
That
Well, you know why? It's only because I remembered that I was seeing a commercial the other day.
What was the name of his club?
Modern
No
Family
Man?
was going, yeah. Modern Family. Yeah, I can't believe. Could you imagine?
Today? No.
Oh man, could you imagine?
That's what I mean. That is such a
Wow.
non-PC fucking type show. You know what I mean? Like,
that was
yeah.
awesome.
All the fucking guys bitching about their wives, so they made a club to
Well-
keep them out. They all go there and they just talk shit about
And
their
now
wives.
he's on
No
a
man,
show.
no man, no man, no man. Wasn't that?
Hey, but now he's
Sticking
on
his
a show
fucking
that
head
have
down his
everything.
pants.
Now he's on a show that they have
I
everything.
know.
Like they have gays, they have
Yeah. Yeah, it's come a long way.
Yeah,
Al
he's
Bundy.
with a he's with a young woman, Mexican woman,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
Colombian woman, whatever.
That guy's living the life. He's rich on that show. He's retired.
He's hilarious,
He's married
man.
to a woman like half of his age.
Yeah.
Bro, Al Bundy's come a long way, bro.
But yeah, no, he has, man. He got younger. Peggy, I wonder what she was. She's not such bad looking.
No, she isn't. No,
she was on Sons of Anarchy.
Yeah,
right?
she was.
That
She
was
looked
pretty
fine,
good
yeah, and she's married to actually the guy who made that show,
show. Really?
Keith Sutter, or I think his name is. Yeah, he's married to him.
Well,
Which
yeah.
is weird
She
because
looks like
people
a
made
biker,
comments.
too. I wonder
Well,
if
people
that's
made.
real.
Well, that's the thing. People made comments while he was doing the show because he would
Yeah.
always put his wife in compromising positions where she was almost raped, where she, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
So people were like, are you getting off to this? Like, why are you putting your wife? Because you know it's his fucking show. They're like, why are you writing your wife into the scene?
Well, it makes sense though. I mean, maybe
She's an
that's
actress,
the-
though. You know what I mean? Like, I
She's
get it. I
good.
get it.
She
I just
can
think,
act it.
I just thought it was a funny, you know. And she was also the voice of that girl on Futurama, the one with the one eye. Yeah, I forgot her
Your
name.
buddy there.
Lana or Lena or something
I
like
watched
that.
that for a little while when I was.
That's a good show. That's a
It
good
was
show.
alright.
I like
Yeah,
it.
It was alright.
Bender, bro. It's all about him. Anyways, we're going way off topics here, guys. We got a lot to talk about this
Yeah,
one.
I don't know what the
So
fuck was
let's
going on there.
let's talk about some content. We wanted to highlight some other content for you guys. Some things that it's been a while since me and Jay had checked out some new podcasts or other shows. For a while there, we were bringing some stuff to the show and talking about it, things that we think that you guys would find interest in. If you find interest in our show, there's a lot of good guys out there doing other podcasts, tons of them. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff
shit.
out there. Yeah, one that me and Jay just checked out this past week for the first time. I never knew existed, and they're like 50 episodes in, which is crazy. Is Mike Tyson's Hot Boxin'. And
That's
it's
fucking hilarious.
just YouTube it. There's YouTube videos and it's a podcast for the audio, but the
Yeah.
YouTube videos are way more interesting if you guys watch
Oh,
that.
yeah, if you get the chance.
Yeah. So it's like hot HOT and then space box like boxing
Boxing.
without a G. Yeah. So but he
Like
smokes
slang.
up like hot boxing. Like he hot boxes the studio on the show. So you have Mike Tyson getting stoned and talking to people. It is fucking great,
Scary.
guys. It's great though. It's great.
Well,
fucking...
if you're in the room, I'm saying.
Oh yeah, fuck.
Yeah, if you're in the room, I'm thinking it's got to be a fucking scary place to be.
Yeah.
You know, especially with somebody that's getting stoned, and you know, their mood is changing, very up and down, and then you get into that. Oh yeah, it could be good. It could be. I'd be nervous as fuck. Oh yeah, whatever, man. I'd be making jokes and laughing and whatever, but I don't know. What did we watch? That you watched that one. You told me to watch the Joe Budden one.
Yeah.
I just happened to watch that one. Right?
Joe Budden was on there, I guess their season finale. I came across it. I guess it was in my suggested videos because I've watched some of the Joe Budden podcast videos on my YouTube, and it popped up, and I was like, Mike Tyson. I'm like, what the hell is this? And like he's not one that goes and is a guest on too many other people's podcasts.
No,
Lately,
I don't
he's
think
been
so.
popping up a lot of other places because he's been getting more popular. But it just was such a weird dynamic between all the podcast people from the Joe Budden podcast and Mike Tyson. And guys, I don't know if you've been following Mike Tyson in recent years, but he was he's a big cokehead. He was like a drug addict. He kind of got off of that shit. He got clean. He did a bunch of other kind of things. He popped up in movies. He did like a cartoon. He's been doing. What's that?
He had a tiger in that movie.
Yeah, Hangover. He showed up in The Hangover. He had like a cartoon that was like a Scooby-Doo Mysteries cartoon, but it was with Mike Tyson that was on the air.
You were explaining that one. Yeah, you were telling me about that one. I remember
that. So he's had his hand in a lot of different things, trying to make money over the years, right? Because now that he's not boxing, so.
He went through a lot of money,
Yeah, well, he was broke pretty much, right?
Yeah.
So, but now this is like a new Mike Tyson. Like this is like the Mike Tyson who's like come to terms with everything that he may have done wrong in his past.
Yeah.
And like it was very down to earth and like actually informative and to the point like. They bounced around. They were getting into way deep fucking conversations that I didn't think they were gonna go. Like I didn't expect them from a fucking Mike Tyson podcast.
That's where I thought it got a little bit freaky because then his mood changed and he's giving you the serious stare instead of the laughing, and then all of a sudden he'll come out with a laugh in the middle of the fucking that stare down. It's almost like he wants to reach over the table and bite your ear off. Right, but I don't know if I could be able to handle that when I.
That's a tough interview.
You're sitting there getting stoned. I mean, his buddy too. That's his host, co-host, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
He's like pretty laid
mellow.
Back, talking.
Yeah, very mellow.
Maybe he's a guy that's there to help keep him on.
He's almost like his handler. Yeah, it seems like.
Keep him in track online there. Because he goes up. He was talking about some real stuff that was going on in Joe's life and his life. It just started the whole conversation.
Yeah, to the point where I haven't revisited it. I haven't watched the rest of the video. Maybe I got like a half hour in, but all of a sudden they get on the topic of like life and death and like where we're gonna end up and do you believe in it and religion and all that. And all of a sudden I was like, whoa! I'm like, I needed to take a step back because whenever that conversation of death comes up, I get a little uncomfortable about it because I'm the type of person that will keep thinking on it, like, and I'll like ruin my night. Like I can go to bed thinking of it if it gets in my head and I can't get it out because I
get it. But okay, I don't want to get you to.
No, just about the thoughts of whether or not we're gonna just die and nothing's comes after that whole thing.
Yeah.
Is it nothingness or is there an afterlife?
That's it, bro. We're stuck in the box.
See? So that's why I don't like having this conversation.
Didn't you see that kid that posted that thing that the father that passed away?
No.
He wanted his one last wish was to prank everybody again. It was an Irish funeral, right? And he goes.
Did he like pop out of the coffin or something?
It was pre-recorded and it was put into the coffin. Okay, by the son, and the son, once the coffin was down and after the music was playing, the bagpipes and the stuff that they play there at the Scottish funerals, right?
Yeah.
All of a sudden, it starts knocking on the wood, like in the coffin. And you can hear the whole speaker. It's queued up perfectly.
I'm not dead.
Yeah, exactly. Is that priest? And he called him something, I don't know, some of the Irish term, the slang they have, right?
Is that Priest O'Leary or something?
Yeah, but he made fun of him. He called him something, like, it was funny. I don't know if
like a Mick? Like a stupid Mick or something like that?
Yeah, maybe. Could have been. I don't know. It was funny. It was on the news. It was on. I seen it on social media.
That's hilarious. I didn't see that.
No, I thought it was probably the funniest fucking thing. It made me.
Is it on YouTube? Maybe we can throw up the clip for everybody in the show notes.
I don't know if it's on YouTube. It probably will be on YouTube, but it was on.
Yeah.
I know it was on an Instagram page. I can't remember the page right now off the top of my head, but there was. It was hilarious. It made everybody go from crying to laughing. It was perfect.
That is good.
You know what I mean? The guy was young. He knew he was dying, right?
Yeah.
He knew he only had a certain amount of time.
Yeah.
So he pre-planned this with his son, right?
Yeah, I would like to have a fun funeral.
The wife didn't know. The wife said, you know what his one wish was to tell his wife, he told his son not to tell his wife not to stop it. That was what, because he didn't tell her.
Yeah.
So,
really?
So could you imagine how the fuck her heart must have been pounding? But she said it on the thing after that she knew he was a joker, and that's the kind of guy
I can appreciate that. Yeah, no, I don't think I'd be too upset because if that really truly shows who that person was.
Yeah, I mean, up until the day he died.
At these funerals, man, they're always so fucking depressing that we don't really celebrate their lives. You know what I mean? Like in a way, like I guess people think that they are, but a lot of the times we're just getting together and grieving at these things, right?
Yeah.
But you're not celebrating. You know what I mean? That's what I mean. Like
celebration, right?
No,
That's
I know,
I mean,
but not very few people.
They used to bring people to their houses and fucking do it, man.
Right.
Now it's against the law. You can't have a body in your house, which is kind of just, I mean, I guess it's okay.
Jewish people still do that, like the Jews that are very religious, that they do that thing where they go and they sit in the people's house for like 3 days or some shit afterwards.
Yeah, but I don't think they even...
Sit in Shiva or whatever the fuck it's called. You know what I mean? That thing.
Shit in Shiva?
Sitting.
Oh, I was gonna say shit and shiver.
Isn't that what it's called? It's something like that. The thing where there's like I think a number of days after that the family all has to hang out together in the home. You've never heard of this? They have
with the body?
No, just together. Okay. And then people are supposed to come by and visit the family. It's like their grieving period.
Yeah, everybody.
And then after that, no, but it's like it's a certain number of days that, and the family is all supposed to stay together. Like it's a thing.
40 days and 40
Not
nights.
40 days, but you know what I mean. Like everything's like some sort of period of days with them. Hanukkah, deaths, you know what I mean?
Isn't that what came from the Bible too? 40 days and 40 nights. So there you go. Maybe that's part of it. Maybe that's... that's how long they had to wait.
Anyways, Mike Tyson hot boxing. Check it out, guys. It's very good. You like that?
Niko's good at cutting me off, hey guys?
No. We just gotta keep it moving. Got lots of things to talk about. But yeah, hot boxing is good. Lots of interesting, different types of guests on there too. Some boxing people as well. But I wouldn't expect too many boxing people to be on there because Mike Tyson was not a person that people liked, right?
Yeah, I don't think
he's not gonna getting
some money for it unless they just want to get stoned for free.
Yeah,
then they'll go.
The one I want to listen to actually I saw on there is the LL Cool J one because they weren't cool back in the day. I was talking about this with you the other day.
Out.
Yeah, well, Cannabis had a diss against LL Cool J and he was in his video.
I remember that Cannabis diss.
Yeah.
I remember that whole beef now that you brought it up yesterday, and I was like, "Fuck, I remember this."
Yeah.
I remember them, and he had it was this long ago, man.
Yeah.
This was years and years ago. I can't remember the name of the song right now off the top of my head. But
yeah, because on the song, it was a song that there was about 3 or 4 of them on the song, and he had a line where he said, "I'm going to take the mic from your arm, Cannabis."
Yeah.
Because LL Cool J had a mic on his arm.
Yeah, yeah.
And then the song, he said, it was like, one of those posse cuts where like 3 or 4 rappers come on the song. I forgot the name of the song, the one you were talking about. And he wrote his verse and rapped it, and he said that. He's like, I'm going to take the mic from your arm. So then LL Cool J then heard his verse, a song that he was already like supposed to be on and have a verse on.
Yeah, yeah.
And he went back and fucking recorded his verse.
Yeah.
And fucking dissed him through shots on the fucking song. Like, it was one of those things where he, like, probably already had a verse on there, and he's like, he heard that, and he's like, hold up. And he went on, and he made a fucking shot back to him on the fucking song before it was released. So on that song, they're basically taking shots at one another because of the time that it was recorded in. It's kind of interesting, actually. And then from there, Cannabis went and actually put out a diss against him, and I think LL did the same. But but at that time, LL and Mike Tyson had a falling out. So Mike Tyson showed up in Cannabis's video, and he was like kind of like, it was called like One Punch Knockout or some shit like that. I'm sorry guys, I'm not up on my stats there. Anyways, I'm going to put it in the show notes for you guys, so if you guys are interested in watching that video, I'll put it in there, because it's kind of an interesting little beef that happened back in the day. And then after that, Eminem kind of dissed Cannabis, and that was the end of Cannabis. Cannabitch. Yeah. That was the end of that. After that, he dissed him. I don't think I heard too much about Cannabis afterwards. Yeah.
That's why I can't remember the song, but yeah. It was
anyways.
hilarious.
But another thing I wanted to talk about that you guys should check out is the newest episode of Mark Maron's What the Fuck podcast that just came out today. I told Jay about it earlier. Did you get a chance to listen to any of that today?
No, I didn't get a chance to listen to it, man. I wanted to, but I didn't.
Woody Harrelson, a favorite of me and Jay's, is the newest guest on Mark Maron's What the Fuck podcast. It's been a while since we mentioned his podcast on here, so I don't listen to every one. No, I only listen to the one with the guests I'm interested in for the most part.
Most of the time it's on my ride home or whatever. I tend to turn it on, and whoever's on at that time, I'll listen to it, and then by the time I get home, it's it, right? I used to listen to the whole fucking episode a lot of times, but yeah, sometimes some of them aren't the greatest. I've listened to some really good ones, but There's some other ones that are just like
yeah.
You know, you can go without him, right?
He always does a good job, but I think it always helps if you know the person he's interviewing prior to listening to it. But sometimes people I haven't known have turned out to be actually some of the better interviews as well. So it just depends what kind of mood I'm in. But most of the time nowadays, I'll just check out the ones of people I know, like people I'm interested in. So as soon as I saw Woody Harrelson, I was like, oh, that's great. I gotta listen to this. I almost listened to the whole thing today. It's really good. Really interesting. Yeah, I mean, Woody kind of...
check it out.
Yeah, Woody talks about everything throughout his career. You know,
Woody's career is even getting crazy now.
Yeah.
He seems to be
works all the time.
Everything. Yeah, he doesn't stop.
Well, that's what they were talking about because they were promoting the new Zombieland movie, the Double Tap, and did you ever watch that movie? Zombieland? Yeah, it's a good flick. I like it. And years late, it's been years since the original, and now they're just about to bring out the sequel. So they talked a little bit about that and how that kind of came together. So that was good.
I want to see how that movie turns out. I mean, it's whatever it is. It's funny, right? They're always funny funny movies, right?
Mm-hmm.
But we'll see how actually, you know, if it's only been in the commercials that I've seen that the funny parts are in there, right?
Right.
Because, you know, some movies they just put out for fucking shits and giggles, right? Mm-hmm. Like, and you see always the best stuff in the highlight reels on YouTube or whatever, the trailers or whatever it is. And I hate when that happens, right? When you get all excited for a movie and you go to turn it on and you watch it. And
You've seen like half of it already.
It's like, oh, fucking sucks, this shit. It's like, whatever, you know. But I haven't been like that yet with a movie yet lately. And everything's been pretty good that I've been watching. So, you know, other than that, I mean, Woody Harrelson. There's another one that he's coming out with too. Not just the Zombieland, but there was something else he's in too just recently.
He works a lot. I mean, that's what they were talking about.
It's so fucking hard to tell. I know there was something else he was in just before Zombieland here, or maybe it could be after. It could be coming after. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Maybe it's something that's coming re-released on Netflix.
They talked about like how he prepared for like that movie that he did back in the day. You ever seen that Larry Flint movie where he's Larry Flint? Yeah, that's a great one. We talked a little bit about that. They talked about him in 3 Billboards, which was excellent. I love that movie. I know not everybody was a fan because it was a pretty grim, pointless story in the end, it seemed like. But I thought it was well done, though.
White Man Can't Jump was the shit, though.
Money Train.
Money Train was alright. I mean, you get to bright bang J-Lo on that one. So at least he's got that for him going, right?
What else did they talk about? They talked about Kingpin.
What about, I remember Kingpin. There's no arm.
That's a weird fucking movie, bro. That's a weird fucking movie.
Fucking
he said in the interview that he didn't like it when it first came out. Like, he didn't love it when he saw it in the theater.
It was weird.
Right.
When you kind of seen the previews and
But he said
like
years later, he's learned to appreciate it. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, he said at the time he watched it with an audience, and he walked out of the movie theater hating it so much that he didn't speak to the director after it. Like, he was like, "Wow, what a piece of shit!" Like, he was. It's a great interview. So I don't want to spoil it all for you guys, but check it out if you are a fan of Woody, like me, and if you're a fan of Woody's, like me and Jay.
I'm a fan of Woody Harrelson.
Yes, that's right.
But no, you didn't talk again. You didn't talk of Hunger Games. That's another one.
He did. Well, Mark Maron, he said he pointed that out. He said you're in a lot of movies. Well, Woody said it first. He's like, I'm in a lot of movies where people barely ever fucking see them. Like, because they talked about that movie Wilson. Do you ever seen that one? Yeah. Great movie. It's actually based on a comic book by Daniel Klaus. That's called Wilson. It's of the same name, and it's about that character in the movie. But it's one of those indie flicks that barely anybody probably saw in theaters. That's what Woody was saying. And he said, he's like, you know what? I don't have a problem with doing those. He's like, you know what? Exactly. Like, he's like, and then Mark Maron said, yeah. He's like, you're all over the place though. You're doing big movies. You're fucking in the Hunger Games, and then you go and do the Wilson, where maybe no one's gonna see it, but it doesn't make it not a good movie, not a good role. And what he said, like, he likes doing that. Like, he likes kind of picking and choosing his stuff like that. You know what I mean? He could care less if a few people watch it.
But that's what makes him good, right?
Yeah.
That's what makes him a good actor. That's what put him in the spotlight that he's in right now.
Yeah.
As he's getting older, I think too, he's been just popping out movies left and right.
Yeah.
You become it's a natural thing for you, right?
Yeah.
Right, and. I remember. I mean, he lived in Toronto for a little while too, right?
Did he really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
I'm pretty sure that there was. It was said that he was living on Avenue Road there. I used to work at the Porsche dealership when he used to be over there.
Yeah, no, I didn't know that.
Volkswagen dealership. Now it's just condos, right? But apparently that's where they He used to say that, right? But
he just seems like a solid dude, a happy guy. He kept mentioning how much he loves his life in this episode, so I was like, yeah, this is he's great. Like, it's nice to see some actors that you really enjoy in movies. Even when the camera's not in front of them, they turn out to be good people. Because sometimes these guys are assholes. Like a lot of these guys, if you listen to them in an interview, they have their heads so far up their ass. I'm just like, you know what? I'm like, I don't want to listen to it. Sometimes even on Marin, Marin can't do nothing with that. Like sometimes he struggles to get a good interview out of these people and make them interesting. Yeah. And he's like, you know, like this guy ain't giving me anything. Like, what can you do? That's the thing. Even if you can be the best interviewer in the world, but if your guy's just gonna fucking drone on and on about himself and not actually give you anything to work off of. You know?
No, Niko gives me a lot of stuff to work off.
Come on.
I was just giving him that, like, I was pointing the fingers.
No, it's true. It's hard. It's hard.
It is.
It's hard.
It's not just to come up with, just to talk and ramble on. It's not easy. It's not something to do, especially in interviewing. Like I said, I've been listening to a lot of different types of interviewing and stuff like that lately. It's not fucking something that's easy to do. I mean, I could sit here all day and say I can do it, you know, and sit there and talk to you, but it's not easy to sit there and actually have a debate or have a good conversation with
someone. Doing a good interview is like a craft, man. Like it's difficult to have not only an interesting conversation with someone, but also to get that information out of them, like the information that you want, that you think is going to be interesting. It works both ways, right? Some people are just good interviews, like some people are good interviewers, and then you got people that are just good at interviews, like they know their agenda prior to going to the interview of what they want to touch on, and they know the stories that are going to be interesting to the people that are listening sometimes. But then sometimes it comes off scripted.
Well, I mean, it all depends on the guest too, right?
Yeah.
Like a guest too has to be good at what they're saying, talking back.
Right.
And they can't just answer with one word answers. It doesn't make for a fun interview. It doesn't make for an exciting interview. You like to have some sort of story background to it, right? So when you bring up certain points and stuff like that, like he can bring up the movies obviously with them, and you can go on about 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 movies for an hour long, saying, you know, what happened during that time. But you know, he's probably got to categorize them now, you know, because there's so many fucking movies that he does, you know. But Mark Maron does a great job of, you know, interviewing people and interviewing all that shit. But I don't know, is he in some hot water with these Marvel guys now or what?
Yeah, so well, no, he's not the one in hot water for Marvel. We'll get into that in a moment. I guess we can get into that after this. But Mark Maron recently made some comments against director Todd Phillips over the Joker movie, which he starred in. You know, he has a relationship with Todd Phillips prior to being in the movie. Todd Phillips asked him to be in the movie. You know, I don't think they're best friends or anything, but he knows of Mark Maron, obviously, so he casted him in it. Mark Maron famously talked about the stories about him and De Niro on the set. Apparently, like, he didn't like something that Maron did. Like, I guess, like, he said it was so, like, he was so nervous, and it was, like, so difficult to be in the scenes with De Niro, because De Niro's De Niro, so, like, De Niro apparently... What he does, though, is a little bit different than most actors, which I actually appreciated this. Like, he mentioned that he, like, took, I guess, Todd Phillips, the director, aside and talked to him in between takes. But then he, like...
This is what I want.
Yeah, exactly. So, but he wouldn't turn to Mark Maron and say, Mark, I need you to, you know, you need to, like, make this part... He didn't criticize Maron to his face. He kind of went to the director, because it's his job, and told the director that he wasn't feeling, I guess, some of the dialogue between the two of them. And then the director had to pull him aside and speak to him. So then he said that fucked with his head even more, because he's like, oh my god, I'm on the set with De Niro.
Now he's more paranoid.
And Mark Maron's kind of new to acting, like, you know what I mean? Like,
it's not his forte.
Right. So
it'd be nice to have if he had like Robert De Niro or somebody on the show. You know, if he had somebody on there now after that whole thing. Right. That'd be kind of cool.
But yeah, so he I'll pull up some of the comments here so I can quote him on it. So basically, Todd Phillips, I talked about it last episode. He had said comedy was dead. So yeah, Joker star Mark Maron hits back at director Todd Phillips' comments about woke culture. So let me just look at the comments that Todd Phillips originally said. He said, go try to be funny nowadays with this woke culture, Phillips said. There were articles written about why comedies don't work anymore. I'll tell you why, because all the fucking funny guys are like, fuck this shit because I don't want to offend you. It's hard to argue with 30 million people on Twitter. You just can't do it, right? So you just go, I'm out. And Todd Phillips famously made The Hangover, the first film, which broke all kinds of records. Yeah, he does look stoned in that picture. Broke all kinds of records. It was, I think, the highest grossing rated R comedy when it came out of its time.
What, The Hangover?
The Hangover, the first one.
The first one, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know how the second and third did. Probably not well, because they were not as good as the first one, in my opinion. They actually got worse every single one that came out after that, because like the joke was kind of over at that point. I'm like, they should have just did the one and done, and you know, I'm out.
Yeah.
So I don't know if this is him being frustrated with maybe how some of his movies went, or it's just a creative, you know, like direction he wanted to change and actually make more serious movies. And he's not wrong. He's not wrong. He's not wrong about a lot of the PC people. We've talked about it, and we've talked about comedy and comedians and how people react to that on the show quite a bit, right?
Yeah, it's different nowadays. It's kind of hard being a fucking comic.
But to just like say that, to disclude everybody, just like put like a blanket statement like that, like I'm done making funny movies because people aren't funny anymore. They can't be funny. So Maron took offense to this. So Maron went on to say.
He thinks as a director the people aren't funny as actors anymore, right?
As on his podcast, he said there's plenty of people being funny right now. They're not only being funny, but being really fucking funny. So I guess he was, because he said real fucking funny, Todd Phillips, so he's just responding directly to him. There are still lines to be rode, he continued. If you like to ride a line, you can still ride a line. If you want to take chances, you can still take chances. Really, the only thing that's off the table culturally at this juncture, and not even entirely, is shamelessly punching down for the sheer joy of hurting people. For the sheer excitement and laughter that some people get from causing people pain, from making people uncomfortable, from making people feel excluded. You know, that excitement. So what did you think about Mark Maron's response to Todd Phillips over this?
Oh, he is right. I mean, there is still funny people out there. But it's hard, man. It's not easy to be funny anymore. It's not like before where nobody gave a shit. There's so many people nowadays, you know, that you have to be careful on what you say. And I know it's supposed to be all jokes and all fun and games, right? But some people take it seriously, unfortunately, out there. People don't like to just take it for what it is, right? So, and I think that's why it's kind of hard to be funny. You don't have to be racist. You don't have to be sexist. You don't have to be anything to be funny. But it's hard to put a lot of stuff into. It's hard to put in context now.
I think that's what Maron's saying, though.
Making so many fucking jokes, right?
He's acknowledging what he's saying, and he's acknowledging, it has changed in a sense, because people aren't just going around being mean to one another you know what I mean? Like you can't. He's like, that's what I mean. He's like, he's saying you can't punch people down anymore. Like you can't make fun of minorities. You can't make fun of, you know what I mean? Like you can't make fun of certain people.
You can, but you gotta be careful.
Right.
You really gotta fucking, you know, bounce around, man, because, you know, unless you're of a different necessity or whatever you call it, you're not allowed to do that stuff. If you're just a white guy, like Mark Maron, it's kind of hard to just make those kind of jokes and get away with it, even if they are comedy. Mm-hmm. Like if he started saying the Dave Chappelle jokes, you think he would get away with it? I don't think so. Kramer didn't, but he actually used the N-word. Right?
Yeah, that was a little different.
But so does Dave Chappelle. See what I mean? But I guess he's allowed to, right? Because he's black, right? So I get it, or whatever. You know, that whole rule. The 30-second rule, or whatever it is. If you could say it within 30 seconds and run, then you're good.
I've heard about dropping things on the floor for that, but I've never heard it referenced that way.
You and oh my gosh, beating things and fucking, I don't know, Niko, you're right today. Should I sit more to the left over here?
Beating things?
I don't know. He said something in the beginning about beating down things or beating things down.
No, I don't know.
You'll be in the show notes.
All right, yeah. But yeah, no, I think Maron made a good point.
No, it is right.
Yeah, I think he made a good point against Todd Phillips.
Made a better point.
I think it's just wrong to exclude, like, just blanket statement everybody in comedy is wrong right now and that there's not funny people. Just because you don't want to make comedies right now doesn't mean that there's nothing funny going on, or you don't know funny anymore.
Or maybe he just it's not his type of funny for his type of movie that he wants to make. Right. I mean, he's just trying to do this. Maybe he's trying to explore his horizons. Look, he's at the Chinese theater. Maybe he's doing something in Chinese in that picture. Sorry, guys, I'm pointing at the screen because I was, that's Todd Phillips there, whatever his name is.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he looks like he was in movies too.
I don't know. Maybe. I don't know.
Unless I just seen him in.
He looks familiar though. I get what you're saying. Yeah, maybe he's one of those directors that shows up in his films, like Quentin Tarantino.
Platinum hair, that platinum gray.
So yeah, speaking of other directors though, the thing that you had mentioned prior to this was the Marvel comments that Martin Scorsese made. So now he's going around and promoting a movie, The Irishman. That's going to be released on Netflix and in theaters, which is an odd move. I think they're both going to be released at the same time, so I don't know why anybody would watch it in theaters if it's going to be like I get for the movie going experience. Like it is
it was supposed to be a Netflix movie.
It was, but apparently it's also being released in theaters. Like it was always apparently supposed to be a Netflix thing, but he's also going to release it in theaters.
He's going to make his money back somehow.
Maybe it's like selected theater. Listen, it's a Martin Scorsese movie, man. I love Martin Scorsese. I mean, we're fucking talking Goodfellas. We're talking Casino.
Watch it on Netflix.
I agree. I agree. I'd rather watch it in my own home too, but
not for anything. But I mean, it's just okay. I get it. It's not one of those movies I don't think you'd go out to a movie theater for the experience.
But maybe Martin Scorsese is smart, and he said to Netflix, like, "Listen, I'm Martin fucking Scorsese. I'll give you the movie, but I'm also
Scorsese.
Yeah, but I also want to release it in theaters. I have the film rights, right?
I'm an Italian guy making an Irish film.
Yeah, it's called Irishman.
A bunch of
Italians. But everybody's gonna be in this film again.
Yeah, but they're all playing Irish.
Joe Pesci. This is his first movie in fucking forever. He actually agreed. Scorsese took him out of retirement, and he's gonna appear in this fucking film. That's pretty cool, man. I mean. That's a big deal.
Be making money.
That's a big deal.
He's gotta make the money somehow. It's otherwise gonna come out of his own fucking pocket.
Right.
I don't think he would have a problem with the money, but you know what I mean.
But he's retired. I mean, Joe Pesci hasn't been in anything for fucking ever. Like, the fact that he came out of retirement for Scorsese.
Like an Italian. He's talking in Irish. It's going to be off, man.
I don't think everybody's Irish in it, though, Jay. I think it's just... I think it's
half and half?
Yeah, because in those neighborhoods. Exactly.
In the Bronx, and they had the boroughs and stuff like that. It was everything, right?
Even in Goodfellas, the guy was... Jimmy, whatever his name was in it, De Niro was Irish.
What about... No, in Goodfellas, what about... What's his name, too, that used to run around?
Everybody else was Italian. He was the only Irish one. De Niro was Irish.
The other guy, man, wasn't Italian, was he? The one who, what the fuck, Ray Liotta?
Yeah, he was Italian.
I thought he was a Jew.
No, you're right. He was mixed. That was the only reason that Joe Pesci was able to get in. That's right. You're right. Joe Pesci was going to get brought into, like, he was about to be a made guy. Yeah. You're right. And the other two couldn't because they had different cultures mixed in with them. You're right. So De Niro was Irish, and he was. Yeah, you're right. Yes, that's right.
His mom or dad was mother or father. No, his mother was a Jew or something. His dad used to be the Italian guy. Yeah. So I don't fucking know. Yeah. Because if his mother was a Jew, if his mother was Italian, then he'd be okay. Yeah. He'd be allowed to be. I think that's the way you could be made. If it's your father.
No, you have to be 100. They have to trace your roots back to the old country to be made. Like they have to.
Everybody goes back to that country if you really chase your roots.
Yeah, but you have to be like 100% Italian. Like you know what I mean? Like you can't have any type of mix in you for you.
So I'm screwed then, I guess.
You can't get in the mob. Sorry, Jay.
Maybe next time.
Yeah, maybe next time.
Maybe next life.
Maybe next go around.
Yeah, maybe they'll let me out of the box when I'm dead.
Anyways, I'm really looking forward to The Irishman. But that's not about this conversation is about. In promoting this movie, I guess they maybe someone had asked him his comments on the Marvel movies being such big blockbuster films. And then he basically said that they're not cinema. Like, he made a comment publicly saying that the Marvel movies aren't cinema. Like, to him, he didn't consider them that. He basically just talked a bunch of shit about Marvel movies. People flipped out. Even people made comments that are in the Marvel movies, went on, like, what's his name, Iron Man, Robert Downey Jr. made some comments against him.
I can see some of those older guys, but some of those old directors that don't get into this kind of shit, like, all this CGI and all that animated stuff like that. Blue screen shit, blue green screen, or whatever the fuck it is. All this stuff that they use for Marvel, right? I could see why he thinks it's not art. It's a different type of art. Right. It's a different type of movie. It's a different type of
It's theater. A popcorn flick, bro. Like, don't get me wrong, but that doesn't mean that they're not well made, that there's not good people in it, that these aren't good movies. So to kind of, like, I get where he's coming from. When I heard the comment, I was like, yeah, I'm like, I get why Scorsese would say that, because Scorsese is a student of film, like from back in the day.
That's
like, you know what I mean, like cinema.
Picture, you take the whole background and you completely change it into a vision you have in your head. Right. You know, that's different. Okay, this is the same thing too with the, but it's a little easier, I think, to design on a computer. Than to actually physically design it on set and everybody dressed up the way you want them to be. That's a little harder. I understand where he's getting.
Oh yeah.
When it comes to that.
Well, that's why I wasn't upset by the comments.
Kind of performance, yeah, it's a different type of performance. But this is like what we're doing behind the thing on the podcast. It's like a behind the scene covered. Like these guys, they're talking, but they're not really there.
Right.
Right. It's their face. It's their. It sort of looks like them. If you ever notice. Every sort of character that's in a cartoon or a comic or kind of sort of resembles the actor. I don't know if you noticed that. Well,
they try to cast people that are not only good but also would represent the character well. So they do try to.
Even if it's CG, even if it's like computer animated, right? Mm-hmm. I don't get that. That's
but weird. sometimes it actually affects the other forms of media as a result of the actor though in these movies. So like for example, Iron Man wasn't as popular until Robert Downey Jr. made the Iron Man movie for Marvel, and it blew up, and it was like their first movie, and it became a huge thing. But then all of a sudden, every time a writer wrote Iron Man in the comics, they were basically writing their best Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man all of a sudden, and then the artist started drawing Iron Man in the comics like Robert Downey Jr. So it's like kind of like that life imitating art type shit where sometimes
maybe he's gonna think when he's old, when he gets Alzheimer's or something, that he was once him. Right. Life, man. I don't know, but
but you know what I mean. Like sometimes
maybe Martin Scorsese's just mad he never got in on this money, man. He never got into this sort of thing. You never know. He could be one of those miserable old men, right? Or not. I mean, I'm not saying he's not a good director. I'm just saying.
I love Martin Scorsese.
I'm not saying he's not a good director. I'm just saying maybe he's upset he didn't get in on it, and that's a good cash grab because these guys are fucking making all kinds of money for sitting behind a computer.
Yeah.
If that's the way he's thinking of it.
Yeah, I don't think that his comments were unwarranted. I get where he's coming from. I get that what he's saying about it not being true cinema because like. He's a student of film. He comes from a different time of movies.
Duck.
Wow, that's loud. I was saying, I get where he's coming from with the comments because, like I said, he's a student of film. He comes from a different time of movie making. He doesn't make movies like this. He doesn't know nothing about like the superhero movies. And they're popcorn flicks. They're big blockbuster films. They're summer movies. They're ones that you go see with the family. I get it. Like it's not his type of movie making. It's not his type of movies. So like I get why he would say that. But to kind of again. Just talk shit about the whole fucking movement of all these superhero movies, just one foul swoop. Being the director that he is, I think he should have just kept his comments to himself. Personally, he could think that
he could say whatever he wants.
He's an old ass man. That's true. Yeah,
who
knows?
Say whatever he wants.
And because he's Scorsese,
win a fucking award for the fucking movie. It doesn't make a difference. He could have said all kinds of shit. Who knows? He might have had that. He might be part of that Me Too movement back in the day, too. He might have worked with Weinstein. Who knows? We don't know all this shit back in the day. Those old pigs, you never know. So Martin
Scorsese then went on today to say, at the time of this recording, I guess he clarified his point a little bit further because I guess people keep asking him about it now that he's made the statement. He said, what has to be protected is the singular experience of experiencing a picture, ideally with an audience. But there's room for so many others now in so many other ways. There's going to be crossovers completely. The value of a film that's like a theme park film, for example, the Marvel type pictures where the theaters become amusement parks, that's a different experience. I was saying earlier, it's not cinema, it's something else, whether you go for that or not.
Oh, so just putting his foot in his mouth.
No, but
I get what he's saying.
Yeah,
he is saying it's different.
This basically just went on to say what we just said about how like it's different.
Cinema,
yeah. So like to him, it's not cinema, but I think he's also by trying to say this is that
this classification of cinema, right?
Yeah.
So it makes sense.
Yeah.
And pause. No. I thought we were gonna have to pause for that fire truck. Sorry.
Yeah.
Something's going on out there.
So interesting. I am looking forward to watching The Irishman. I no doubt will come here and talk about it once I see it because I'm really excited for that. I'm always down for a mobster type Martin Scorsese film.
I'll watch it on Netflix.
Wolf of Wall Street, his last film, was excellent. I really enjoyed that. A little long, but I thought it was pretty fun, man.
You don't think this one's going to be 2.5 hours?
Oh yeah, for sure. It will be. I mean, look at everybody he brought together, right? He's got everybody there. Like everybody from Goodfellas and Casino is like back together again. It's crazy, man.
Nothing has come out that's been less than 2 hours lately.
Yeah.
Right? Everything that comes out is way over 2 hours. Right?
Did you check out the footage of some of these guys at the Rolling Loud Festival over the weekend?
No.
DaBaby performed there.
Yeah.
Bro, this guy rocks out like a rock star, man.
The one where he was
throwing his shoes into the crowd.
Shit.
Yeah.
What the fuck? I was saying that to a buddy at work, right? I was saying, why would you throw one shoe this way, one shoe that way? What the fuck is it worth? It's worth nothing.
People were grabbing it, bro. People were grabbing his socks, for fuck's sake. This guy's taking off his socks.
I get what they're trying to think. They think it's fucking...
It's a rock star.
You know?
It's a rock star
gonna
move,
be
bro.
Worth something. I don't think it's worth shit.
But you're right. He didn't.
Not right now, at least.
It's not like he took the shoes off and gave it to one person to wear.
Yeah.
I guarantee you, the person on the other end that got one of the shoes went to fight the person on the other end of the crowd to get the other shoe. Right?
You probably didn't talk about the shooting afterwards, right? Outside the fucking stadium for the other Gucci shoe.
Yeah, he took the shoe off, guys. Maybe we can find the clip and put it in the show notes for you guys if you haven't seen it. And went like this and fucking threw one shoe in the one side of the crowd while performing, and then fucking threw the other one on the other side. Then he continued to take off like his socks and shit, and passed it to like a woman.
Didn't he get this guy stunning for Vegas? What's his name?
Yeah.
Didn't he pass out too? He passed out
at the festival. Oh shit! I didn't hear about that.
Festival, but it was
Stunning for Vegas.
Yeah, he wasn't there.
Yeah.
Something happened, right? They weren't sure if that was, preempted or what.
And then I saw a clip of MGK. MGK fucking scaled.
Fucking
did you see that?
He's a nutcase, but
I mean, again,
he's gonna end up fucking hurting himself.
He has many times on tour.
But he's gonna, you know what? It's getting to the point. Remember, he's getting older now.
Yeah,
it's not so easy. Like when you're 18 and you got fucking balls and he's just drinking like a fish and he's climbing buildings. He's got that little girl in the picture, his little daughter that he's got there. You know, I understand you want to party it up. You want to party like a rock star. You got to live a certain life. But I mean, there comes a point when what happens if they gotta come home and say, hey, Daddy's not around no more.
Right. No, you're right.
Here's all his money, but he's not around anymore.
Well, he's not ready to slow down
yet. That was 10
yet.
stories.
No, I know.
Like that,
so he scaled the speaker guys like on the stage that he was performing. Like, you know how they usually have like the speakers all set up on like a big metal structure overhead of like with the lights and everything. This guy climbed it. Like he climbed it and then stood at the fucking top of it.
I feel like an adult. I just realized what I just said. I felt like I was talking like an adult.
Yeah, they're like, this guy's rocking out too hard, guys. Yeah, what the hell is this?
What the fuck is that, man?
Slow down.
You know if you want to fucking climb a tree, man. You want to
I thought it was entertaining. But imagine if you were there at the show and he was doing that. That's what I mean. That would have been a fun time.
That would be fucked.
That would have been fucked. You're right. It
wouldn't have been fun at all, man. It wouldn't have been fucking good. That would have sucked for the audience. Would have got a show.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, I got blood on my shirt. Who wants this shirt?
Yeah.
You know, after you get the splat from the ground, because 10 stories you're gonna splat.
Oh yeah, he would have died if he fell.
Oh, yeah. Or would have hurt his.
And he was performing. Like it's not even that he just climbed it. He was performing on top. He was standing. He wasn't like dancing on there.
That song that he's got, the Death's Door. Is it Death's Door? Is that the song that he was singing? He was singing one of those ones from the album, a new album. One of those depressing ones. And maybe that's why he was climbing up the fucking thing.
Yeah, I'm gonna jump, guys.
I'm gonna jump. Don't make me jump. What the fuck was the song, man? I got it on the album, but I just can't remember what it was right now, guys. But yeah, he's just been acting really fucked lately on stage. He's been doing everything to get back in that spotlight. I know he's in the spotlight always regardless, but I mean he's doing everything he can to get back at that spotlight, or to the position I think he was at one point before the Kill Shot song. I think the Kill Shot song, you know...
It really did a number on him,
it did a number on him, because he probably, you know what, who wants Eminem to fucking diss him? Like, who wants? Like, he was probably grew up listening to him. No, don't get me wrong. He must have listened to him, for sure. And then
he said that.
To have, like, he's had to have been an idol, too. To have somebody like that, even an icon in the music industry where you're coming in as a white rapper, right? I mean... To have that first guy diss you that hard, right? Because you were drunk the night before and you didn't fucking think straight. You decided, I gotta go diss Eminem. You know? Okay, it sounds funny in your head, but once you put it out there, you put it out there.
Every time he's talked about it since, though, it just sounds like he's trying, like, it just sounds so fake. How he's like, I wasn't bothered by it. That was like the weakest diss of all time. Like, it just doesn't sound genuine. Music. And if he actually thinks that, that's cool, whatever. But he just doesn't sound. It doesn't sound like he's telling the truth every time it's brought up. Like it sounds like
it bothers.
Like admit it, it bothered you a bit. Like you know what I mean? Like that's what it sounds like. It sounds like it bothered him a bit, whether or not he won or he lost.
Exactly. You got eaten alive by a song that wasn't even that
It was not his best song.
No, exactly.
No. It was a light jab.
Yeah, it was kind
but
of
that's
like
why
a smack in the face.
I get what he's saying. That he did say, he's like, oh, that wasn't a kill shot, that was a leg shot, or whatever that stupid fucking shit. It was.
That's going to make you fall off the 10 stories.
I was about to say, but if he came at you again...
See you later.
He wouldn't have been saying that. Yeah, he just kind of tested the waters on you. If you made your fucking next diss, if he didn't cop out and said, "Oh, I wasn't very good, I'm not responding," like he did. Yeah.
That's a good way to play it, though.
Meanwhile, your bodyguards are beating people up.
You had to literally go and make movies after that because you had nothing else. And you're like, oh my god, if I go on stage, I'm gonna cry. Everybody's gonna boo me off stage.
He got dissed and then made Bird Box.
Bird Box and fucking. Well, I don't know. I heard the Motley Crue movie was good, but I didn't get a chance to see
Dirt,
that.
yeah.
How was your Joker movie? I watched it finally.
Yeah, I talked about it last episode, what I thought of it, but we didn't go into full spoilers. Do you want to do that now?
I don't give a fuck. People,
okay, guys.
Watch it online. It's your fault.
So, guys, we're gonna get into full spoilers for Joker here at this point. If you don't want to get spoiled, if you've yet to see the movie, first off, shame on you. Yeah. Secondly, maybe skip ahead 15 minutes or so, or check the show notes, and it'll show you when we stop talking about it. Just skip ahead if you guys are watching or listening to this. So what'd you think?
I thought it was crazy, man. I thought it was a great movie. I thought it started out smooth. I thought it started, he played the character really, really nice. I don't know. I couldn't believe how fucking skinny he was.
Yeah, it's gross.
That's like, okay, I'm what, 160 pounds right now. That's like, picture me dropping another.
He was like 110,
pounds, bro.
I know, he was like 110. I would say.
I don't think physically at that height, I don't think your body could be 110. Your bones alone weigh more than that.
Okay.
Think, right? Skins and bone alone.
So he was like what, 130? You think?
He had to be at least 130 to 150, and say somewhere in between there, and that's the way he was bending himself. All right, like he was fucking skinny. I mean, that Joker is skinny in real life. I mean, in the real comics and stuff like that, he's a really fucking skinny guy. I don't know if it's just the way they depict it.
Did you know that he wanted to he talked about it, I guess, with Todd Phillips. He wanted to go the opposite direction and make him a big fatso. He thought it would be better for the character. Not Todd Phillips, Joaquin Phoenix.
That would have been weird.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's better the way. I'm glad he stuck to his vision. Maybe he just didn't want to lose all the weight because that's difficult.
Yeah, it is.
It's way easier for you to fucking just gain a bunch of weight and then lose it.
Yeah, it's bad for your body. It's not healthy because you're going on a hard diet. It's a hard regimen too. I mean, you just no carbs, no nothing, but it's just fucking.
Well, I was telling you about the last time I seen somebody go that thin for a role was Christian Bale in The Machinist. And in that movie, I'm going to have to show you a picture because I don't think you said you've never seen that movie, right? He's even fucking thinner, it seems, than Joaquin Phoenix. And you know what his diet was that he said for that movie to eat? A can of tuna a day.
That's all you need.
Yeah, because it's got all the protein and the iron and all that shit, right?
That's not healthy at all.
One can of tuna a day. I mean, that's like JT Styles right there.
Yeah, exactly. At least I eat more than that. I eat a lot of... They don't tell you, but you got to smoke a lot of fucking cigarettes, too.
Right.
But no, they got him down small. I don't know if they would have done. Jack Nicholson was the biggest when he played that role. I think that was the perfect. You couldn't go any bigger than he was at that role because of that. Then I thought it's more like a what's his name, Penguin style look. And you don't want to do that. I mean, why would I didn't know until I actually looked at the comics that how skinny he actually was, the Joker.
Mm-hmm.
I always thought he was like a Jack Nicholson style in the movie. Did that one with Michael Keaton.
Jack Nicholson wasn't too fat though.
No, but he was meat. He's chubby.
Yeah,
he's not
sure.
Like fucking skinny, 150.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
He's got some decent size to him, right?
So where do you, before we get into the movie, where do you rank this Joker then? Speaking of all the Jokers in movies, we got Heath Ledger. We got Cesar Romero back from the Batman '66 show. Let's include him. Let's include.
I don't even think I remember him from that long.
No. Okay, so let's not include him then if you're not aware of him. Let's include Heath Ledger. Let's go Jack Nicholson. Let's go one from Jared Leto from Suicide Squad. What's that?
That's the one with real white face from back in the day.
Who? Jack Nicholson?
Yeah.
He painted his face in it. Yeah. White face. That's what they call it.
No, I'm shaking my head, everybody who's not seeing this.
And then...
I feel insulted.
And Jared Leto in Suicide Squad, that was a Joker.
Yeah.
So where would you rank?
I didn't watch Suicide Squad, so I can't rank it.
Okay, where would you rank him with the other three then?
Suicide Squad, so I didn't get into it.
So. Okay.
But
no, it wasn't good. No. I think Jared Leto's Joker was interesting, but
any relations to Jay Leno?
No.
I'm just asking. I'm wondering. I don't know. Same last name.
One's Leno, one's Leto.
Leto. Leto. Yeah, I didn't hear you pronounce it the right way.
Okay. So where would you rank that?
I don't know. In the middle, somewhere. I think
Heath Ledger's still the best, right?
I think so. Yeah. He's a little bit more crazier.
I agree.
But you know what? They didn't I don't know. They didn't get into that style of crazy.
Here's the thing, though, and I was listening. I can't take full credit for this because I didn't make this observation. I was listening to another podcast and they made this point, and it was a really good one. That Joker, Heath Ledger's Joker, was a genius. Like, he was crazy, but the way he set up all the schemes in that film, everything was systematically set up to go the way it went. Like, he had a vision and a way of how he thought the world worked, but all, like, the things he did in that movie, you know, how he set up the bombs, like, the things for Batman to defuse the situations, the bank robberies, everything was very calculated, like, to the point where, like, he, you know what I mean? Like, he was...
Who directed that? I mean, not the director, you're talking about Heath Ledger.
Heath Ledger's Joker, that character...
But he wanted it like that, or the director made it...
Probably the director, that was probably his choice, but I'm saying if you're going to compare the two of them... Yeah. It almost that's what I mean. It almost makes perfect sense that this movie would be the start of that guy, because he, at the end, he basically, you know, he ascends and becomes Joker, but then by the time you see him in The Dark Knight, because that's like going to be, I don't know, 20-something years later when Bruce has grown up, right? Yeah. Like he's like a criminal mastermind. You know what I mean? Like, so it's interesting because they're both different in that way too, because this Joker in this movie is almost fucking like feeling sorry for himself, depressed. You know what I mean? Like he's not mentally ill, but he's not embraced it. That's what I mean. Like he hasn't embraced it to the end of the film where he's where he feels he figured out the world. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and his place in it.
I feel like that'll come if he's put in another role with. Yeah, are they ever gonna have this in like a Batman movie, or are they gonna ever have this Joker? That style Joker, like no.
I think it's a one and done thing. Yeah.
It sucks because it still leaves you at the end going, what the fuck else is he gonna do? I know what's going on. Like we know where it's going with it, but he's not fully taken on that. You know, like you said, he's not fully taken on that Joker.
You might hear, no, I agree, and
he's taken on the mental aspect of it, but he hasn't taken on that actual persona. Like, it doesn't mention anything about him turning into a Joker like that. He just likes to make a clown face. Sorry.
No, it's okay. It's interesting you say that. There is one moment towards the end where you could see him starting to act differently. When he gets on the talk show before he shoots De Niro, you could see the wheels turning in his head.
You see, this is what he's about to say.
As soon as he gets to the show, he's putting on like that fake, I'm a big fan, blah, blah, blah. Meanwhile, in his head, he's already worked out everything that he was going to come out on that stage and do.
It's almost like they couldn't put that out there like crazy, because it's hard to watch that, especially with all the stuff that goes on in the States and stuff like that, and anywhere in the world. Right? People doing mass shootings, do stupid stuff like that, right? It's hard to put a character like Joker out there because it deals with all that type of mental illness. It falls in that same category. It falls in that same line.
And last episode I talked about how mental illness having so much to do with the theme of the film because it lacked a lot of plot. And I still think that is the case, but what I didn't emphasize enough last time too was it's not only on mental illness, it's about society, like today.
But it's about what triggers that mental... Everybody has some sort of something that will trigger them, whether they can keep it contained or not. Okay, I feel that there's a way. I'm not a doctor. I'm not no PhD in nothing. I got JTD. All right, that's it. But what I mean is, I feel like society could trigger that one fucking, I don't know if you want to call it a gene or what you want to call it in your body, that fucking sets you off, and that's all it takes. And I was telling you this last time too, before you heard it on that other podcast about it having something to do, have a very familiar.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Falling down, right? if you watch that movie, there's certain parts you can watch just as YouTube guys, as on YouTube, like little skits, trailers, whatever of that. I mean, you could watch that movie for nothing. You could probably find it on some sort of streaming network, like an Amazon or a fucking Netflix or something.
Yeah.
Who knows, right? But here's what I'm saying. He was a normal person. It's just the same like the Joker, right? And it just, all it takes is a
series of bad events.
Not even. It just one day that has a couple of, things that just don't work out your way.
Right.
And you need them to. Like, look at Joker. He lost his medication. They cut off his medication because of the cuts. Because this is like another thing. This could happen in everyday society. It happens here, man. They cut shit. They cut medication. They cut... I mean, this is stuff that could trigger people to fucking blow up,
right,
and lose their shit, man, and then turn into not a fucking Joker character, but still, then that's where you get the
that's why
worriness.
For once I actually understood why certain people were getting upset and worried about this film and people taking it that way, because it rings so true in today's times. Not only did it say all that shit about society, but then it also went on to talk, like, even have the imagery of the rich and powerful looking down on the poor and the mentally ill, with the Bruce Thomas Wayne, his father.
Yeah.
And they made him look like a piece of garbage in this movie.
I mean, we don't really know how much of a piece of garbage he really was.
They made him look like a piece of garbage. We
You're
right.
Batman itself, and I'm not even a comic book guy, but I know just because of people like you and my brother and my dad, certain things that Batman, in that you don't really know Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
You don't really know him.
Thomas Wayne,
sorry, or his wife.
Yeah.
You just
he
know
was
they
dead.
got shot. Yeah, you see them at an event, whatever, all the time, but you never actually see that character.
Right.
This is the first time you got a little bit of a glimpse at it, and this is where it could have been. I mean, it could have started with that, because he said they're one and the same sort of thing, right? Mm-hmm. So maybe his one bad day and Bruce's one bad day. That's what they talk about in Batman itself. Joker's one bad day and Bruce's one bad day.
Yeah, no, we've talked about that on the show
right?
a few times, and I think that that's why, and you may think I'm crazy for saying this because of my love for the medium and comics. And just for the idea of the fact that Todd Phillips had said that most comic people like this wasn't going to be your regular comic book movie. I would have rather them not have any of that stuff in it. Like the fact that he saw Bruce as a kid. Yeah. No, but just any of the moments with his father or Bruce. I would have just rather it have just focused on Joker. Like, I didn't want any of that tie-in stuff. Maybe the shooting at the end, sure. Just like kind of like to be like, hey, it's all connected. Look, like this is what happened. Well, you know what I mean? Like, okay, I just think it's such a cop-out, like, to go that route. And I get it. The only thing that I think that saved that whole plot was the fact that we didn't really know what was real and what wasn't, because he was delusional. That was the only thing I think that saved that whole plot line. But otherwise, I think it was shit.
And I think
like, him punching him in the face, dumb. Like, I was like, come on. It was.
That's why they stopped the Gotham series, because it was leading into that same sort of era. Like, the Gotham Bruce was that age that he sees him in, sort of thing. You know what I mean? So it's sort of leading. Now, it would be cool if it was tied in together somehow, and they brought Gotham back that way and started it fresh again, right?
Maybe.
That'd be fucking awesome.
Yeah.
But I don't know if Joaquin Phoenix is going to be doing
no.
TV shows after this.
I don't think so.
Fucking trying to put the weight back on with all that money that he's probably made from this movie, but that he did. I think he played a good role. I mean, he didn't have to say much. He didn't really. I mean, so that's the thing. That's where I find that Martin Scorsese says certain things like that, because when you're acting there, when you're sitting there, and you don't have to say much, but you can act a character just by showing your face on the screen. He doesn't say very many. Like, if you really count the number of lines that he says in that movie, it's probably nothing crazy. I mean, but just his facial expressions and the stuff he has to do and the things he does when he's by himself.
Method acting.
It's fucking amazing, right?
I think that really impressed me, like you're saying, is just his mannerisms, because there was parts where he was like awkwardly like what and
the way he did it, like he pulled
and
it
he
off,
had a dance. He had like a weird dance that he kept, like, remember, like the dance he started pulling out, and like even he had that moment at the end where he's like doing a triumphant dance because he's on the way to the show that he's wanted to be on his whole life, and he's on his way there. All of a sudden you see the cops at the top of the stairs because he just fucking murdered a guy.
The purple suit, right?
At the end, it was more of a tan brown
of
some
was
sort.
off,
It was a little bit different.
He had a different colored
Yes.
shirt on the inside.
That's what I
was
mean.
Very bright.
At the end there, when he gets to the stairs scene, leading up to him going to the late night show, that's when he makes the transformation into what the closest representation of Joker we had in that movie was that.
They could really come out with a part 2 if they really wanted.
They could have. They could have. I wouldn't like it though. I don't think they should. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'd probably see it, but
a lot of Marvel movies they stop like that now, eh? They just keep it at 1. It's not like not Marvel. Maybe I'm just say DC
I'm just saying
Marvel,
if Todd Phillips wants to separate himself from all the other type of superhero movies and make this a movie unlike those and have it stand on its own, he should not do that. You know what I mean? Like this is the one and done. This is a Joker story. This is my vision of it. It's more.
We still don't know if this is gonna drive things fucking crazy himself because that was a hard role to play, right? I mean, dude, could you imagine being there and just having that thing where you have to sit there and laugh on the bus out loud?
He said he enjoyed it. That's how fucked up it is. I seen an interview with him, and he said that he actually they're like, was it hard for you to put on that laugh? And they're like, no, it was actually quite freeing. His laugh is very different from the other Jokers too. It's weird.
Regular laugh,
it's like a forced laugh.
Yeah.
But what's funny is the forced laugh. No, his
when he is laughing regularly, it's regular.
Right. Yeah. No, but the fake laugh sounds like very put on. Remember when with that guy he was working with, he left the room and he's making fun of the small person, the little person. Sorry, small person.
Small person.
The midget. No, so he's making fun of the little person in it.
Yeah.
And the guy was making jokes about it, and then he's like and then he left the room, and then automatically he just stopped laughing. He's all depressed all of a sudden, he was just putting it on for them. Yeah. That was the more of the Joker laugh we're used to. But then when he actually laughed, it was painful. Yeah, it was painful.
Because he was trying to hold it back.
Yeah.
And that's something that he was, you could tell he was trying to hold back, man.
Yeah.
That was something that he didn't want in his life.
Yeah.
That was a disability for him.
Exactly. It was a neurological disease. Issue.
Anything neurological is fucked up, right? So
people don't understand. Even neurologists don't understand the brain, bro.
They just say, "Here's a bunch of pills, take them." And this is what happens. Yeah. You become sexy.
I mean, don't get me wrong; they understand it, but the brain does all kinds of. I mean, they're still kind of studying it. That's it's
huge,
that's what I mean.
They still after when I change or when they change doses on me, they want me to just call them at the end of the month to tell them how I've been feeling, right?
You want to call out great old films, one with De Niro and your boy Robin Williams, Awakenings. Great one. It actually just got put on Netflix recently, guys. If you ever watched that, it's a great film, bro.
I'm pretty sure I watched that one. Pretty much. Yeah.
He's got neurological disorder in it. Yeah.
That was in the 90s.
Great film. There's
De Niro. A lot of good films
with
real serious issues like that.
But anyways, I wanted to. If you guys didn't think I did a good enough job explaining myself last episode, because my girlfriend gave me a fucking hard time because after we left the movie, I kind of was trying to articulate to her how I didn't feel. I talked about it on our last episode. How I didn't feel. Right? I wasn't sure, but I don't know how well the representation of mental illness was done in this film. So I kind of scoured the internet and read some reviews of reviewers. And this guy Matthew Rosa for the website Salon, he wrote.
Sounds like a name.
He wrote this review, and he was able to articulate the kind of point that I was trying to make much better than I was able to. So I kind of just wanted to quote him here in one part of this. I'm not going to read the whole thing.
He goes, this is going to be called the quote episode.
I know. I'm reading off. Hey, listen, I wanted to kind of, I wanted to be up on our facts for this one, right?
I'm going to do the quotation signs. There you
Thank you. Finally, there is a handling of mental illness. Finally there is its handling of mental illness. When I first saw trailers for the movie, I was concerned that it would stigmatize people in the community of which I am a member. My fears weren't entirely founded. Fleck is a sympathetic character, and the movie is surprisingly realistic in depicting some aspects of how society mistreats the mentally ill. So all things we've mentioned so far, I agree with that. But this kind of gets into the part where it was hard for me to explain. But it still characterizes Fleck as prone to violence and crime. His unemployability is partially blamed on social cruelty, but there is still the sense that he is incompetent and undeserving of the success he seeks. Phillips doesn't explore Fleck's soul so much, present him as a spectacle, an act that objectifies mental illness as much as using it to make a character into a MacGuffin or a monster. The cinematic trend of objectifying mentally ill characters for plot convenience has become so ambiguous that it warrants a turn.
But that's true. It's, you know what, that is true. And not everybody that has not everybody that has a mental illness is gonna go out and turn out to be the fucking Joker and start fucking killing people. You gotta also remember that too, man. There's a lot of people that deal with mental illness, mental issues, neurological issues, and don't have to, you know, that can control their life. Yeah, okay. I mean, it's not easy. It's hard. I mean, don't get me wrong. I've dealt with stuff where I wanted to fucking throw people off bridges. Trust me. But I mean, you could still go by your everyday life. I just haven't found my trigger yet, right? Once I can find that trigger, who knows? But I understand where he's saying what he's saying with that, because not everybody's like that.
This is what I was trying to say, though.
They're putting everybody into a category along that same line of
right.
If that's what happens, all of a sudden, just because society one day gives you a shit day,
right.
you're gonna go out and kill somebody.
Right.
But it doesn't necessarily mean that's gonna happen.
He's saying he used it conveniently to for this story and to push this character to the edge in this film, and I get it. That was his choice.
And you can only really do it once. You can't show how many times they're gonna piss the guy off
right.
before he snaps, because it's only a 2-hour long film.
Right.
Right. So who knows? There could have been a time span in there of 6 months to 8 months that he was getting bulled every day on the way to work. That laugh, that, you know, that's a buildup over years.
But that's why I wish they had focused on one thing or the other. Like, if this is a movie truly about this man's mental illness, then why fucking throw in all that other comic shit in it? Right? You know what I mean? Like, exactly. that's why I wanted to read this, and that's why he made a very good point, because exactly.
You didn't need to be called a Joker.
Exactly.
You didn't have to put the makeup on. You
exactly.
It could have been just about mental illness if that was the
and
case,
that's
right?
what I thought it was. Like, and that's what I thought it was supposed to be. And that's why when I watched it, I was just like, if this is really supposed to be portraying that, I don't know how good of a job they're doing. That's why what he said about objectifying it and basically using it for his convenience. And he claims he's a member of people that are mentally ill. Like, there's something wrong with the person who wrote this. Not something wrong, but he has issues with something. Yeah.
Who knows? Could be mental, neurological, anything. Right. But it doesn't make he looks like maybe he owns a salon. No. I'm just joking around, but it says salon there. So
yeah, that's the website name. But yeah, he makes a good point.
He does make a really good point, because it's not. He's actually. What does it say?
Matthew
he's
Rosa.
got a PhD, and you know, he's actually got a PhD.
He does. Yeah, it says he holds an MA in history from Rutgers University.
But he's right.
And a PhD program in history at another universities. There you go.
Yeah, so
the man knows what he's talking about, people.
MSNBC. That's isn't that the one that Howard Stern used to make fun of?
That's right.
MSNBC.
Yeah. Well, he used to work there for a period of time.
With the pig
vomit.
Vomit.
Shout out to Private Parts.
That was hilarious. So no, but he makes a really good point.
Yeah.
No, and that's
I hate to steal someone else's words, but that's what I was trying to say.
But I can't put that in. I can't articulate
Thank you.
that, man.
That's why I stole somebody's much better words.
If you had a hard time, could you imagine how much of a hard time I had to put into words? But I know what he's saying.
Yes.
Even by you reading it, I'm sitting over here and I'm thinking, you know what, it makes a good point, because you're not classifying. I wanted to cut you off halfway through because of my attention span. I didn't want to forget what I wanted to say.
Yeah, as I was struggling to read it, because the screen's a little far away from me.
I was going like this. Yeah. He forgot. He was trying not to squint.
I got contacts in, guys, so
you can.
Nearsighted.
Seriously? Even that from there?
I can, but it's still a little hard at some points, yeah.
I can see it fine.
Yeah, well, I'm nearsighted, right? Things that are farther away. No, it's the opposite. Nearsighted is actually far away.
So anything that's further away is harder to see?
Yes, for me. Okay.
Like
something that's up close, no problem. Something that's farther away, especially if it's little writing, it's hard. Like when I used to drive before I got glasses, the signs started becoming fucking blurry, bro. And I'd be on the fucking highway,
is that
and I'm
part
like,
of the reason why you got off the road?
No, but that's why I got glasses. I got glasses when I started driving, because I'm like, this ain't right.
But you had no choice too, because they make you do an eye test, and if there's a certain distance, they make you see.
Yeah, they said I was fine. Like, they didn't stop me from getting my license, but they said when I did do the eye test that they said
you should go get your eyes checked.
Yes, exactly. They said it seems like you can't see shit far, so you should probably get a low prescription rate.
That's
for
why
glasses,
the 8 Mile sign there looks so big. all his contacts in that day. Sorry, guys.
But
I have to throw that jab in there.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, he put it very well, and I stick by that. That I think that's why I said they should have just chose a lane in terms of the theme of this film and stuck with it. Because if you're going to be all artsy-fartsy and make this movie a movie about mental illness and, like, society and all that, then don't fucking throw in all that other shit that they did. You know what I mean? Like, I get it, it's a Joker movie at the end of the day. But, you know, you should stand by the way you think that you're trying to portray this character that lives in this world, and you know what I mean, like, and just go deep on that one subject. I don't think he should have messed around with everything else. And like you said, they made it convenient.
They threw it into Gotham. Basically, what they did is they took mental illness and they threw it into Gotham.
Right.
I mean, it is part of Gotham. It's always been a part of Gotham. Everybody in Gotham is pretty fucked up after. When it's that time, like when it's the Batman time, that whole town that whole city's fucked up.
Yeah.
It's basically New York City.
That's what it is. It's New York. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like in the 80s.
Yeah, but instead they call it Gotham City.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, we'll take the name then. But yeah, no, it was a great movie. It was just, like this guy says here, Mr. Dr. Rosa. He does it. He really did depict it really good, and what we were probably trying to say all along. And probably to each other as well.
But otherwise, great. The ending was great. I loved how with that where the cop car ran into him and they grabbed his body and fucking raised it and like put him on the car and then like he got on top and it was like he had a whole fucking following in the city just like rallying him, right?
Well,
like
I don't know if he's dead. Okay, he got hit by the car.
No, he's not dead. He got up at the end. He got up and he was in the jail cell. Yeah, he was alive. But it looked like he was dead for a moment and they kind of like, you know, they kind of put his body on top of a car. And then, all started chanting, like, Joker, and then all of a sudden, like, he got up, and it was like...
his mouth wasn't really, like, okay, it was cut. Like, that's how he gets the Joker smile and everything else.
Right.
This one, he just drew it on himself. Like, it was a heavy-duty mental issue.
But you see what I meant about how you could connect the dots from him doing all that mouth shit to the point where Heath Ledger's Joker. No, but you could see where he went because if he went into a mental insane asylum after that, and he used to do that shit with his mouth and draw it and put his fingers in it and go like this. How he took a knife and fucking cut himself. Like, that's what I mean. Like, it would eventually have gotten to that point. So that's what I mean. Like the Heath Ledger. I could connect the dots from where this Joker leaves off and that Joker starts. Like that. I think they did a great job in that. And, they didn't do wrong by the comics at all. Like, yes, they changed a little bit, but not to the point where, like, it changes anything about Batman. You know what I mean? Like, it just gave you a different perspective. But again, I could have done without that. And, and Joaquin Phoenix was excellent. Like, I thought he did a great job, man.
Very good role. I mean, that whole movie was played out excellent. We'll have to see what happens. Like I said, that could be the start. I guess it can. Like, it could be and it can't be. I mean, fuck. It was good, all around, and I watched it in a shit quality, and it still was actually really good for me. And I told you I watched it with the Russian titles on the cards. I didn't know what the cards said. That was the only problem. For one fucking movie, it had a lot of writing on paper, right? So I didn't get a chance to see it because they would copy and paste over in Russian,
right?
Because it must have been released out there and somebody was recording it. Oh, did I say that? No. Yeah, so it was some friend's house I was at. They were watching, movies that you're not supposed to watch.
So we're running a bit long here. So there's one more topic of interest, unless there's anything else you had to talk about.
No, I've been having a great time.
It's good. It hasn't even felt like how long it's been. We were flying by. You were right, Jay. It's funny. You called
exactly. Did you hear that?
You were right.
Wait.
You were right. You don't even know what I'm about to say. What you were right about.
You just said I was right.
You are an idiot. You were absolutely right. No, 6ix9ine. Did you hear the newest 6ix9ine news?
What? He's got an album coming out?
That he's gonna get out of jail and fucking he has a record deal. Remember you said that? I'm like, this guy is done, man. You're like, no. You're like these kids these days. He's gonna probably come out and rap about it. I'm a snitch. Remember you said this on this very show, guys. Go back and check the tape. Like a few episodes ago, we talked about this when 6ix9ine was up on trial and he was snitching everybody out in the game, inside and out, and gang members. And I'm like, bro, this guy can't get out of jail and become a rapper again. He's a straight up snitch now. And Jay said that. Jay's like, no. He's like, you know what? These new kids these days, I bet you he can make a career for himself. And I was like, yeah, right. And all of a sudden, recently, they said if he comes out, he has a record deal available to him if he gets out of jail. And when he gets out of jail.
Money. There's going to be money there. Somebody's going to want to hear what he's got to say. Look what happens. When you're in jail for a little bit, of course, there's nothing to do but fucking probably write music. Especially if you're going to hide in your cell. He's probably under fucking protective custody in there anyways.
Bro, he wasn't much of a writer to begin with.
No, but whatever, man. He probably was able to there because he had nothing but time on his hands. I don't know how much time he really did.
I just laughed at how you said that. You're like, hey, he's going to come out with this song. Hey, I'm a snitch.
You never know,
I'm a
man.
bitch.
I'm a bitch, I'm a snitch, I took it in the ass, that kind of shit, right? But you never know. It's funny because the guys our age were saying that they wouldn't listen to it and they talking shit like even rappers and the stuff that are a little older.
Yeah, I don't know if I would. Listen, I'm no street dude, but I don't know.
Would. Like probably people, I don't know if my nephew would, but I know there's people at my age, that his age group that probably would, maybe a little bit older, right? But I guarantee you'll hear it somewhere on the radio. They'll put it on the fucking radio just for fucking.
Well, when that guy went in, he was like the hugest fucking hip hop guy out, man. He was crazy.
He makes a good song. It's gonna actually suck if he makes a good song after he comes out,
right?
And we're gonna have to listen to it.
Yeah.
Because, you know. Yeah, well,
that's the thing. I don't think
he didn't snitch on me. I don't know.
Don't get me wrong. I wasn't the biggest fan of him going in, but I liked the kid. I found him entertaining. He had a couple of bangers, sure, but I didn't think he was a good rapper.
Bang who? Bang her. Oh.
But yeah, I mean, all of a sudden, like, he went in, and I was like, I'm never gonna look at that guy the same now. You know what I mean? Like, because his whole image was that he was a gang member, but then he went to jail and he snitched everybody out.
Yeah, that's why he's getting out early. What did I think? He's got time owed or whatever.
Purely from a perspective of what his rap image was, though, it kind of goes against everything.
Oh.
That's what I'm saying. It's kind of fucked up. That's why I couldn't support him coming out of this situation because
he's just the type of rapper that just sings stuff like Gucci Gang, like that kind of stuff, like that type of music.
Yeah.
I mean, really, what the fuck? You don't have to
he didn't do that song, but yeah,
no,
kind of like that, yeah.
But that's that type of shitty fucking rap. Sorry, guys,
No, you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
No, I'm telling people out there that might like that kind of crap.
Yeah.
But I honestly, okay, still some of the beats might be good, but the lyrics are got fucking nothing there, you know. So.
Well, that's why I said banger in the truest sense of the word. Not like a banger, like a song I would enjoy, but like it bangs in the car, and it's some nonsense that he's spitting. Like he's not a good rapper. That's why. That's what I said. I meant what I said.
When you just want the girls to turn around, and look and listen. That's what it's all for. It's for club music. That's all it's for.
It's for clout, as the kids say these days.
And that's all it is.
Yeah, there you go. Also, DMX went into rehab for the 100th time.
Yeah, your buddy. I forgot about that. I wanted to say it. I wanted to be the guy that brought it up.
I mean, it's not really news at this point. DMX has been out of rehab for years now.
It's not like, you know, because you were just doing your way back playbacks from him and all that fun stuff.
I still love DMX, man.
I mean, bet you do.
And
all kinds of homo, just like on the other one that he said the last time. Remember with on the baby?
Yeah.
That was that you know, that stood out. That stood out.
To you?
Yeah, when I listened to the playback, it stood out.
I stood by it.
You're like, all kinds of homo. And you said it like it was nonchalantly, like, oh yeah, all right, let's go.
I don't hate. I don't hate on the
I'm
gays.
just saying. I just didn't know if you're a pansexual or what. I don't know what the fuck it was. But you do have a cat and a rabbit.
Yeah. What would be wrong with that if I was? Hey, what are you trying to say?
Hey.
That's it.
Fair,
I'm out of here. This room's getting uncomfortable. I'm out of here.
He's got nowhere to go. There's a wall there. I can only let him.
I know. I'm just gonna
see you later.
Turn my chair out.
He's not talking to me no more. No. But yeah, no. That's nothing new. I mean, there's a lot of guys that have gone through rehab and stuff like that. It's like. You know, they got to do it, man. You got to do what you got to do. This is what happens to guys like MGK. When they party hard in the beginning, they don't realize how much it affects them in the end. Yeah. When it's not easy to come off anymore. Yeah, you might have control over it now because you're young, but you're young, dumb, and full of cum, but like they say. But eventually it's going to come to a halt, and you're going to be like, fuck, man, what do I do now? I need this to help myself sleep. I need this. I don't know what the fuck. I mean, he's already made a comment about it one time. right?
Yeah, MGK. Yeah, that's right.
He's already
Yeah.
made a comment about it, saying he doesn't know what kind of mood he's gonna wake up in.
Right.
Yeah.
And he also said when he put out that piece of shit binge and they interviewed him,
that he was fucked
and
up.
Mac Miller had just died, and they turned to him and they're like, well, in light of all this, are you going to reconsider your drug use? And he stood there for like a minute in the interview. It was on the Breakfast Club.
Yeah, he thought about it.
He thought about it. Silent. No one was talking. He just sat there, and if you watch the video, sitting there, he did. It seemed like he actually gave it real thought.
Some real thought.
And then he's like, no. He's like, I'm not ready for that. Like he's like, hey, listen, man, I do my drugs.
Hey.
I like doing my drugs. You know what I mean? Like he's at that point, and M was at that point too for a lot of his career.
Wrong.
So
he's honest
exactly,
yeah. So it's like if you're gonna enjoy it, but make sure you get yourself. Don't let it.
I would be a hypocrite
away.
if I said that was wrong of him to say, right?
Yeah, I mean, everybody's gonna have a little bit of fun once in a while, right? But I mean, don't when it gets too carried away, it gets too carried away.
Yeah.
Right, and then it's time to check yourself in the rehab.
And finally, we did watch El Camino. We are going to wait till next week to talk about that. So tune in if you want to hear our thoughts on that.
Hopefully.
We had a guest that couldn't make it on today because of the time we recorded this. Who wanted to speak on it as well. So we're going to wait till next week to talk about it, guys. If you haven't watched it yet, though, do yourself a favor. I will say I did enjoy it, and that's the most I'll say about it.
Breaking Bad, and you not watched the last couple episodes of Breaking Bad, I would think.
Yeah.
And then watch it, and then you'll get to understand. You can even watch a couple episodes of Better Call Saul, a few of the beginning episodes of that. I think it all intertwines somehow.
It does.
It's gonna all. I think because there's still another season of thing coming out. So
Better Call Saul.
Better Call Saul.
Yeah.
It's gonna be coming back out.
Yeah.
So
I can't wait.
We'll see what happens. Right. We'll never know.
Can't wait.
But you also we'll talk about that.
Yeah. Well, I will say though we did enjoy it.
Yes, and rest in peace for Forrester.
Robert Forrester. Yes. Thank you. Good.
Movie.
Thank you for remembering. I forgot
that's
actually.
Something I wanted to say today in retrospect to the movie because. The movie came out just
the
after
day
he died
of brain cancer.
Yeah.
He died of brain cancer.
I think he had the same one of my grandmother. It was quick.
Oh,
it was
really?
8 months. Yeah, it was only 8 months he had it. It was only a short bout, they said, a short fight.
Okay.
Yeah, and that was it, man. It was just like, bang.
Yeah, Robert Forster, a great character actor. My favorite role of his was in Jackie Brown, a Quentin Tarantino film. One of my favorite Quentin Tarantino films. He plays a bail bondsman in it. Just great. If you guys haven't watched that, that's also on Netflix right now, Jackie Brown.
I know you have a girlfriend and stuff, so I wonder if you had to watch those Christmassy movies at Christmas time.
She does a lot of them. I watch some.
He's in a lot of those ones.
Is he?
On Women's now. He's been in a few of those.
Oh, like the Hallmark movies. Yeah, she watch. I don't watch those. Yeah, no.
Lie.
I don't.
He watches them, okay?
I just watched Christmas Vacation 20 times.
Yeah. National Lampoon.
Yeah, bro. I love that movie.
I'm going to buy him a BB gun. No, that's the wrong one. Sorry. Yeah, no, that's the right one.
No, that's Christmas Story.
Oh, we're talking
about another classic.
We're talking about Chevy Chase.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what we're talking about. Yeah, so we're just bouncing around here at the end.
But yeah, R.I.P. Robert Forster.
Yeah.
Great actor, and he was great in this movie too. Great in this movie.
He was great in the series, man.
Yes,
he was great in the Breaking Bad series. I mean,
for anybody who watched Breaking Bad, he is the guy that they call to disappear. Essentially, if you need it, he's the guy that picked up Walt and actually brought him to that cottage in like Alaska, where the fuck he was at the end of that movie or the end of the show.
Yeah.
He took him up north somewhere into like a deserted cottage, and every month he would bring him like food and stuff. That was who Robert Forster was. Good guy.
Good guy because he brought him food up there, I guess. But he's only acting doing that. But he's a good guy. Good actor, great actor.
That's one of my favorite. That's actually
style like that.
Sure.
Like that Bond style,
But that's what I mean. When he was in Jackie Brown, he was one of those actors that Quentin Tarantino famously kind of brought attention back to again, because Quentin Tarantino liked to do that. Like we've spoken about it, I think, on the show before. Like famously, John Travolta's career was over, bro. Like everyone laughed at him because he was in those fucking Saturday Night Fever movie. No, it's true though. After Grease and after that, like he was typecasted, and then he wasn't really doing much for a while. Mm-hmm. And then he put him in Pulp Fiction, and then everyone's like, "Whoa, look at this fucking John Travolta guy." No, that's what I mean. But he gave him a cool part. smart.
He was fat in that movie.
He was huge in that movie.
There's
that scene where Quentin Tarantino has the hose and he's hosing them down as they're naked because they change clothes, and he is fucking chunky. You're right. That's like the fattest I've ever seen John Travolta.
Probably but he's been through some tough times too.
Anyways, but similarly, everyone had forgotten about Robert Forster apparently, and when he put him in that film, everyone's like, "Oh, who the fuck is this guy? Look at this guy! How good this guy is!" And that's what I mean. So like, he's great. He's great.
And he's all around great. I mean, you see him in other movies, certain ones. Back in the day, he was in like suit and tux, tux style, movies and that kind of shit. He's been in a lot of fucking movies. He shows.
One of my favorite moments in Breaking Bad was with him and Walt in that scene where he flat out asks him. He's like, "Listen, one of these days when you come to drop this stuff off to me, I'm gonna be dead. This money," because he basically had the bag of money sitting there with him. "Are you gonna take it? Be honest with me." And he's like, and he just stood there silently for a second, and he's just like, "Do you really want to know the answer to that?" Because he was hoping he would give the money to his family, and he said as much. But he's like, "Are you really gonna?" You know what I mean? Like he's just like,
gonna give it to his family, probably.
No, but he's like, he asked him flat out, and he's like, "What do you think?" Yeah.
So you don't really know. He could have said he made him think that's what he was gonna do, and said fuck his family in the end.
But would he not be tempted to? He wasn't gonna lie to the guy. It was just one of those like self-reflecting moments. I was just like, that's a great scene, right?
You're helping the guy get out of the fucking. Yeah, you're helping the guy get out of the country and all that shit,
right?
And
but you don't owe him anything.
No, you don't.
It's
but
a
he's
job.
Been also holding your money for how fucking long?
Right. Anyways, okay. So to end out the show here, playback for you guys. Today I'm going to be playing a Obi Trice song for you guys.
Oh, I thought he was doing the ass Coach Anthem.
No, not today.
No, not today.
Not today. One of these days,
maybe
man.
The Christmas special.
One of these days.
The Christmas special or something. The only reason I seen that because I seen the thing pop up where it says his name, J-Maz.
All right, so guys. So I'm gonna play for you the Ballad of Obi Trice. Now this is from his second studio album through Shady that he did. I don't know if he did another one through them after this. I think it was just the two albums. Now everyone knows the better of the two albums for Obi Trice, if you were a fan of his, was Cheers, his debut album. Yeah. Fucking great album from start to finish. At the time when Obi Trice came out, it was kind of the start of him after 50 Cent signing people to Shady Records, as opposed to Shady Aftermath with 50 Cent. Yeah. And Obi Trice was like the Black Eminem to me at that point in time, in terms of the way he rhymed, the way he put words together. He was from Detroit. He was an excellent lyricist. Very different type of rapper too, like at that time. Yeah. And he came out. Originally, you started hearing him on songs like he was on on D12 songs. They cut in the Obi Trice real name, no gimmicks. I remember. Oh no, it was the. Two trailer park girls around me outside. At the start of that song, they cut him in at the start, and everyone was like, "Who the fuck is this Obi Trice guy?" And this is before he even had a song out. Yeah. And they just cut him in. Remember, they cut him in that Obi Trice, real name, no gimmicks, and they fucking dropped that in. And then all of a sudden, you started hearing buzz about this guy, and everyone wanted to know who he was. And then he started popping up on the mixtapes with him when he started dissing Ja Rule. Obi Trice went to town on these guys, and he didn't even have a fucking album out at that time. You know what I mean? Like he was just rolling with Shady. So you actually heard him on the D12 album. You heard him on Eminem's album. You didn't hear him on his own album yet. So when he came out with the debut album Cheers, it was highly anticipated because people were like, "I want to hear more of this guy." Yeah. And it delivered. And the fucking, one of the songs on the album, I think, was one of the Ja Rule disses on the album. Like, don't get me wrong, yeah. I can pull the track list up, but, it's just a phenomenal album.
I think it was on there.
It was. Everybody was on. I think it was the one with Lloyd Banks was on the song as well. Eminem, 50. I mean, he had lots of features on this album. Don't get me wrong. He had a lot of help from the Shady camp. Like, everybody was on this album. Eminem, 50, D12 probably. Lloyd Banks was on it. Yeah, members of G-Unit. It was great. Yeah. It is that song. It's We All Die Someday. Yeah. Busta's on that, too. Yeah, that's right. That's right, yeah. And then, but his second album wasn't as good as the first, but also pretty solid, in my opinion, was called Second Rounds on Me. And me and Peter called into the radio show. He was on the Shady 4-5.
Okay.
And he had satellite radio at that time, Sirius. And he was being interviewed the day his album came out. And me and Peter lived together at that time. And usually if we bought new albums, we would just buy the one copy because we would just share and listen to it because we both lived in the same spot, right? Like, so... we would take turns kind of buying the good albums that were coming out around that time that we were interested in hearing. And when this came out, we were so big on Obi Trice at that time, and we wanted to show support. We both bought a copy of this album, just to show support. And later on in that day, we were in the car outside of the convenience store by his house listening to Shady 45 because he was on, and we just went to the corner store to grab something to munch on or something probably, and we heard him jump on, and we turned to each other, and they were accepting calls, and we're like, you want to call in? And they seemed like the phone lines weren't that busy. We're like, yeah, sure, fuck it, why not? So we called in, and they actually put us on the radio, and we spoke to Obi Trice. But me and P were just yelling so much, like nonsense, that they cut us off within like a minute. We're like, hey, we're from Toronto, Nix P here, blah, blah, blah. We both bought your album today, man. We're huge fans. We're just fanboying it up. And then Obi Trice is like, man, as soon as they cut them off, he's like, those boys from Toronto, man, they're crazy. Like, just shit like that. And he was hyping up Toronto, you know what I mean? He was just like, he's like, much love, man. I wish. It was just so funny because I was on the phone, but then I gave the phone to P, and P started talking, and it was, and if you've ever been on the radio or know how it works, there's a delay.
Yeah.
So as soon as we got off the phone, or they cut us off, we had to turn the radio back on because they make you turn it down when you're actually on the phone with them because then there was going to be feedback, right? And so we rushed to fucking turn the volume back on. We got to hear most of us on the radio there for the minute that we were on or whatever. Just a really cool experience. I'd never had done that before. We got to speak to Obi when we were like really big fans of his the day that the album came out. Yeah. So I just thought it was an interesting story to share and bring to you guys today, and that's why I picked a song that I really enjoyed off of the second album as opposed to the first. But like I said, both these albums were great. Unfortunately, ever since he left Shady, he's still been releasing music. I remember you actually sent me a couple of things a couple times. But, he hasn't been on my radar like that, like he used to be. No. Yeah, exactly. So I think he's still making music, though. He got shot in the head during his time over there as well in Detroit. That was really bad. Like, he almost died. Like, this is around the time Proof got killed as well. And it actually also added to the fact of Eminem's like depression at the time because he had soldiers, like he said in this one of those songs, like falling down all around him. Like they depicted it in a video of Proof dying, and then Proof fucking died in that the Soldier song off that Eminem show, I think it was, right? Or was it Encore? Yeah. Like Toy Soldiers. That's what it's called. Yeah. And then he got killed, and then Obi Trice got shot in the head in Detroit and almost died. Apparently the fucking bullet was lodged in his fucking skull. Like he survived that. I don't know how the hell the guy hit him, but he survived. 50 got shot. I mean this is before his time with M, but it was all his people that were rapping for him at that time had been so and I know that's why he said at that time he took a step back, right? So but unfortunately without M steering the ship, guys like Obi's career and Cassius and and who was Stat Quo, all these guys kind of fell by the wayside, right? So anyways, without further ado, this is Ballad of Obi Trice. This is kind of like the track on this album where he talks about his life. And it was just like a real good representation of what Obi Trice was and where he came from, and a good song off the album. So we'll see you guys next time, and thanks for tuning in.
Thank you, everybody.
Later, guys.
Have a good one.